Yes, I am. Why?
Ah,
It says
claim
watcher.
Oh, hang
claim your
on.
PC.
I gotta click it.
There you
Dave,
go.
you have a
Click it
half
or
halo.
tick it. There we go.
What?
Click it. You have a half halo.
Yeah, bro.
It's
Oh.
like
See,
not all the way on you. It's
I
like
know.
Mm.
wow.
Thug life.
That's
Whoa.
the most
Yeah.
impressive thing I've seen all day. It's like part of
Yeah.
your head's glowing.
Oh, dude. Earlier I had this.
Ooh,
I
I
love
love
it.
Peace be
Where's
with
my
you.
Palandor?
Yeah. Would you like a holy pamphlet?
I made extra. Oh, Palandor, I miss you.
I stayed up all night making these pamphlets just for you. Ace rips them away and shits on them.
I heard you guys found Palandor in space.
We did.
That is.
I feel like we somehow find Pounder is always Poundor never leaves.
Will we find Palandor on this adventure?
You might.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sure we will.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure we will at some point. Heard of where's
Whip their
Waldo?
Palandor out. And
Yeah. He's asleep. Don't wake him.
You have my sword.
You
So-
punch sleeping Poundor in the balls. all right, I'm done.
So you're if there were a ticking clock on the wall, you'd probably be sitting at about just over a day until this sort of vague window of opportunity was going to be gifted to you via Jorlin and a key to the prison. It's on this first morning that there's quite a loud ruckus, and you see like numerous guards scurrying about outside, heading to the west, and you could hear like a crashing, smashing sound, followed by like a faint chorus of shouts and curses, and some of the guards return to the cell and say, "Change of plans today. We're doing 2 groups. We need a larger one out to help fix the lift."
Oh.
And it was at this time that you all, they started kind of like trying to figure out how they were going to divvy you all up. And Nalian, Ro, and Oscar have been tagged for this first work group.
Let's go fix the elevator.
I'll volunteer. Me, I'll go. I'm an elevator expertise.
It's because we were 20 bros, right? I mean,
Yep.
we did both roll nat 20s. God, there should be something sweet for that.
Yeah, you get to go fix the elevator.
I'm good with it.
Give me a back massage.
Yeah.
I know. Right with you.
Oh, but he doesn't.
Back.
Doesn't he?
And then let's see.
You feel the thumbs dig into your shoulders.
Thanks, Oscar.
What's he doing to you?
He's giving him a back rub.
Blessing me.
It's a shoulder massage.
I want to be blessed.
You don't feel blessed. I mean, you feel blessed, but you don't feel.
Yeah, yeah.
blessed.
I know what you're saying.
I feel so good.
Worth it. Everything. It's gonna make me play better.
Okay. This is the initial group, and this is the group that's left behind.
Uh-oh. I don't like how you said that.
Um, I'm gonna remove Urki's body for now. You can
That
imagine
is
like the guard, one of the guards, like probably is just coming over, like kicks the torso down into the webbing,
Oh,
and you can
Urky, no.
you can almost sense movement down in the nests below. All right, and they kind of like 2 of the guards come over, and 2 Quaggoth. Let me grab these fuckers. One moment. So 2 Drow guards and 2 Quaggoth come to escort you towards the lift. I'm just gonna put them on here. Give me one moment.
Oh,
Bupito,
Xeno
you better back up. Don't get in my shit.
Mm.
You're stepping
Dude.
in my poop.
Take it down a notch, Oscar. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I like the fire though.
Sean, are you muted?
Oh shit! I was muted that whole time.
Yeah,
Oh,
what'd you
man.
say?
Oh
Sorry.
man, I'm so sorry, guys. Can I send
Oh,
Xenope with the I want to do things with Ezric. Damn, okay, I'm sorry.
You done fucked up.
Ezric goes back to the wall and sits down in his meditative state that he has been doing, and he closes his eyes, and you see the balls of his eyes under the lids just doing the Matrix thing,
Oh.
and he transfers his seeing and hearing to Xenope.
Okay.
Oh. Do we see you do this?
Yeah, did we pick up on it? Can I percept?
Why this isn't working?
I'm gonna
Also-
percept anyway.
Sorry, just one little hiccup here.
I mean,
Also, how far can you send him? 100 feet?
yeah, I was gonna say, where's Xenope going? Is he trying
He's
to
gonna
hide in
land
one
on
of
my
our-
shoulder and
Is
kick
he
He's-
trying to hide in one of our skirts?
Do you want to know where? Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, play it as it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
I see Ezric's eyes doing something funny, and I've never seen it happen before, but I'm not sure what it is. I also noticed a phoenix flying around him. I've never seen that before.
Oh, there we go.
Are you like from Conan, the TV show?
Shit, can. Okay, no, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play it out the way that I said it because.
Do it.
I'm anyway,
go Phoenix.
so I'm in the Phoenix now, and can Xenope kind of like fly around the ceiling and like in the shadows and kind of like stealthily follow the group?
I want to say, and it's like a minor bit of a retcon, but like as you awaken and like you sort of confer with this creature, your connection to it almost feels like it's being snuffed out, and
Oh, you're in
you
the
see it,
room.
and it just
Oh,
sort of like
okay,
forms
okay.
back in with the shadows of the wall. It's fair to say that like in your waking moment there might have been like a glimpse of this thing, but it doesn't hold, and it just
Okay.
dissipates.
You're in the no magic zone.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, it's my bad. I forgot about that too. Okay, so they kind of open the gate. I mean, again, remember that you're all manacled, which means that you have the restrained condition, though you can still move normally because your legs are fine. So restrained means attacks against you have advantage, and your attacks have disadvantage.
Holy fuck.
Unless you find a way out of these things. But, I mean, as far as you know, this is just a normal day of work duty. You are being escorted, and unless anyone has any squirrely plans, you take
I
a
do.
route that you've been on before through
I'm
the
Of
guard
course
tower.
you do.
I do. Leave it me. Nelin,
Yes.
do you have any of those arrows? I'm whispering to him. Do you have those arrows from Zahn? How do you think you'd be able to pick our locks somehow?
I didn't grab the arrows. I say with my hands clasping.
Yeah, like you say all of that by going like this.
I didn't grab the
I thought
arrows.
Chimzar has it.
God damn it! Can anyone? All right, we're all locked up.
Keep
Everyone behave.
moving, scum, and they kind of like kick you in the ribs as if not to get their hands too close to you, and you're kind of forced forward onto like the shaky rope bridge. The guards
That's
just
my-
glaring
Wait.
at you.
As my ribs get. Oh, go for it.
What do you mean by they don't want to get their hands too close to us? Are we like dirty to them?
Like he's like almost got his arms crossed and he's just like with intent slowly lifting his leg and kind of like pushing it into your ribs.
Okay. Gotcha.
Ro, yeah.
As I get kicked in the ribs, like I give out an extra gasp of air, and it sounds kind of strange, but to the other ranger, it says like, "You just give me the word, and I'll toss these motherfuckers off the side."
Kind of
It's
smiles.
special ranger. It's ranger woodland speak.
Okay. So 2 by 2, essentially, you're shuffled on to the rope bridge. And
Can I?
yeah.
As we're on this bridge, can we? What is the boards underneath my feet made out of? Is it the same stocky mushroom thing we were talking about? That's like wood earlier.
Is it
Yeah.
weak?
Yeah,
Could
it's
we
wood.
kick through it?
Probably.
It's
Okay.
like it's old wood, right? Like it's
No,
old
I
rock.
mean it's fairly well kept. You've probably repaired some boards here or there in some of your time here.
Rose
And-
stomps
yeah.
down on the bridge as he walks across. He tries that. He stomps down on it as hard as he
The-
possibly.
Like the-
I'm right behind him, and I'm like, "Holy fuck, what are you doing?" And I'm like hanging on for dear life right here.
I'm having a bad day.
You hear like a from behind you, and the quag like this is coming from like one of the Drow guards, and the quaggoth just stops and slowly turns towards you, and it's lowering its stooped gaze into yours, and it clutches you and starts lifting you up over the railing.
Oh! I struggle.
You hear the guard in the back say, "This is a larger than normal work detail. Don't get any cute ideas." And he's speaking pretty well in just common tongue here. And he nods to the Quaggoth, who like drops you back into the bridge, and there's like a little bit of like a shake and sway. And the Quaggoth starts lurching forward again. You can feel like the surge of people being pushed forward behind you as you start to get up, Ro.
I say out in Elvish what I said there.
Last question: is this wood bridge or this bridge feel like soft and spongy and wet, or is it like
No.
dry?
No, imagine again,
Oh.
like, it's almost like driftwood. Like, if it was, like,
Driftwood.
dried and cured. Like, this is a special species of mushroom where the stems of it are massive and can be treated and carved much like wood.
And the webs, are they part of the bridge? Like, is it
No.
all intertwined? Okay.
No, yeah, so, like, again, like, it's... I almost wish I'd just done something, like, in 3D, but, like, you would be on this...
I just wish I
Walking.
mocked this up in 3D. You
Yeah.
know, whatever.
But like there is a huge net of interconnected webbing underneath you, like its own separate canopy layer, and you're above that.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So when you hear the
Okay.
skittering of spiders and see like the shimmering dance of movement all around
Below
you
here.
as you make a lot of noise and shake on the bridge, you imagine that the hungry giant spiders that you fed pieces of people to are probably getting excited.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
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 And how wide is this bridge? Is it 5 feet?
It's about like 8 feet. So like some of the smaller of you creatures, like you
Side by
gnomes
side.
and dwarves, could be side by side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Quaggoth tend to be a little bit larger. And so they lead you through the lower level of the guard tower towards the next rope bridge. And it's in here that they stop, and that you can see that they're gathering some supplies, like some old coils of rope, some hammers, nails, pickaxes, things like that. So they have you all sort of like stay in formation for the most part.
I wanna
while-
look around the room a little harder to see if
Okay.
there's anything out of the ordinary, like any kind of specialty tools or like specialty materials or something out of the ordinary, other
Uh,
than like rope and wood.
I don't remember who was in that group before, but I know it was Oscar
Zahn.
and Zahn. Oscar, you recall that above you was a bit of an armory, In
And that's true.
on the upper floor, you see like a ladder that goes up to like a trap door that is open. And in this room, more or less, it's just like a guard hangout. You can tell like they drink in here, they play cards, dice, they read. So it's mostly just this big Zerkwood table with 3 chairs around it and a smaller side table. There are spider silk webbing, kind of like set in almost like with hooks for hanging equipment off of. And beyond that, yeah, it's just a rope ladder that goes up to like a wood trap door up above, about 10 feet.
Are we still communicating telepathically?
You are not right now. Stool is
Okay.
not with you.
He's still got to be around. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to bump into like Nalian or Ro. If I connect with my shoulder, like it's a little
Okay.
bit. I lean in. I'm like, our weapons are upstairs.
Can I ask a quick question about Stool?
Soon.
Okay.
We'll come back to the prisoners in the cell.
Okay.
I point to the ladder. We gotta go.
I get where you're stepping in. I addressed the Drow guard. I bow deep, and I say, rigid cream top hat. Sir, and I bow down. If we are to fix this elevator, we're gonna need something to singe the edges of this rope shut so it does not unwind. We need something to create fire to melt the ends of these ropes, and perhaps something to cut them with. Do you have perhaps a tactical knife or a fire kit of some sort?
We'll give you what we give you, Worm. Let's
Then-
get
then
to
I
the
w-
site first, and you'll have your instructions when you're there.
And he just kind of kicks you again, harder this time.
Oh, a well struck kick, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, no need for that.
Half-breed piece of shit.
Yes.
So it's-
Oh, yes.
Moves
My
past
mother
you.
was Drow and my father was human. Yes. Thank
All right,
you for noticing.
move out. And they kind of, you can see like the Quaggoth in the back is carrying the bulk of the supplies. The one in the front's got some as well.
Nylian hasn't been talking much. Can he, between these Drow guards during their shifts, do they talk about the hierarchy much and how they feel about the overthrowing of, Sereth being imprisoned and Gerald, or whatever his name is, being overthrown by Sure? Is there like a,
I mean, like, are you talking about like just things you might have overheard, or?
yeah, like can I get a sense of who they side with, if they, what yeah, their alignment to the situation?
You haven't heard anything that would give you any kind of concrete evidence that any particular Drow sides with the other. You are aware that they're all like in tune with the rumors about what's going on, and there's speculation about what happened. You can sense that it's like almost like workplace rumors. Like it's all fairly entertaining for them, but you don't get any clear sense of allegiance one way or the other.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so the Drow guard kind of posts up near the door, and you're meant to sort of file in behind the Quaggoth here.
Is there any, really quick, just want to take a survey.
Sure.
On the way through the room, is there any like shit buckets or buckets of liquid of any
Hey, you
type?
call them by their medical names, sir.
In this
Wooden
room, not that you see, no.
Alright. No problem.
Not a single shit bucket.
Not in the guard tower.
Not even the one. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, you are being filed towards the door, more or less in the same order that you were brought in here. And unless you have any thing that you want to interject, if we zoom out, you're basically on a path that should be fairly familiar to you. Just kind of draw it out here. You're taken across the bridge. Underneath, it's kind of like it's a weird thing. Like you can kind of go underneath the ramp to the priestess tower, and then there's like almost like a nook that you can't really see from the top down, where you can walk around and then go up this ramp, very steep ramp to that tower. But the main pathway is underneath of this bridge, which is where you're heading, and then you're brought in front of the main hall slash barracks caverns in front of the two elite barracks, elite towers of guards that overlook the lift.
Can Ro over the big bridge that they're going over, the first one?
Yeah, the one you mean the one you're about to go across right now?
Yep, he would like to see if there's any weak points in the bridge at all, like even like 50% weak or 60% weak, right? Are there any like cuts in the bridge or knots tied or like boards missing?
Also, Nyalian waits to be the last one to go after his last experience.
Okay. You try to wait to be the last one in line?
Yeah.
Roll. Alright, first Nalian roll a stealth check.
Oh.
Oh,
I like that.
To see if you
This-
can kind
you're
of like
going to the edge.
shuffle your
Ooh.
way
Okay,
back.
60.
He's
Okay,
completely average.
All right, you manage to reshuffle
Oh.
yourself in the lineup without the guards really noticing. Although some of the other prisoners kind of like, what are you doing? As you kind of like make your way.
Just me.
He's like Assassin's Creeding to the back, just like.
Yep. And then
Touching
I'm,
shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm whispering to him like, I'm looking for weak points. Like that's all you picked up. You're like, weak points, bridge.
Okay.
It sounds like a moth fluttering.
As you get about halfway across the bridge, you do sense that right in like the saggiest part of the bridge in the middle, like right where it's dead center above the biggest mass of webbing, just off shot from the cliff's edge of the waterfall, you can see that the boards here, the zerk wood, probably because of all the moisture from the nearby falls, and just because this portion hasn't been noticed yet, is in fact a bit weaker in terms of like how the spider webbing is holding the side railing together and then in the boards themselves. Doesn't
All
seem
right.
like anything that would be a concern, but if you were looking to exploit a weak spot, this is the best thing you've seen.
All right. Ro waits for withered cream leg to walk up close to it, and then he rushes up. Whoa! Wait, sir! Wait! There's a weak spot in this bridge here. Look! And then he puts his foot down on the weak spot while holding on to the edges, and he pushes down just a little and goes, and the wood rots out from under him. You would have been dead if it was not for me. Be careful. This bridge is very weak.
He's kind of looking at you and says, "It's very perceptive, half-drow."
Yes, I'm very good with bridges and also things that go up and down.
He kind of like
Elevator.
he pokes like the still remaining pieces of broken plank with the pointy end of his spear, and you can see it's a little spongy in places. And he kind of nods, and he holds here at this spot to guide some of the others across. Two of you hang back. We should repair this so that we can travel back without any concern.
Again, I ask for something to singe the ends of these ropes, something to light fire, and then also we need fresh wood, not rotting wood, and something to cut the ropes with. I can repair this bridge for you.
I'll go with you. Or stay with you.
You can stay with me.
We can do it.
Absolutely.
Oscar, make a make a deception check for me.
Not
I'm
fall
really
off the
good at
bridge
bridges.
check. Oh shit!
Oh,
18
shit.
plus 1!
And I know construction.
This guy's like you can tell this guy's like eyeing you a little bit, like he's seen you before, but you're all starting to look the same to him. And he's like, well, like I mean, you know that since your escape, they've been trying to segregate the group of you as much as possible. But it all starts to muddy together. And he kind of shrugs a little bit and says, "You wouldn't want to use fire on the spider silk, yeah? But we can get you more spider silk and some boards, and some basic tools. You two hang back in the guard tower," and he gestures for you to turn back to the tower.
As you wish, absolutely. I'll repair this bridge 100%. Won't even
I'll-
know the difference.
I'll
Me
see.
too.
I'll see that you do. And he
Yes,
kind
you will.
of like nods, like he'll meet you in there. So, unless you defy that in any way, I take it
do
you
not.
head back to the thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I give you a good rub.
Oh my shoulders.
The guard
This
continues
time.
to wait there
It's a
as
guided rub.
the other prisoners are coming through. And Nalian, just as you bring up the rear with the other Quaggoth and Drow behind you and Jimjar, you see Ro and Oscar shuffling back through you and through the other prisoners and the guards. And you hear the the rigid cream-topped hat Drow like kind of gesture towards the other Drow near you at the rear. It says, "We've got a situation on the bridge. Those two are gonna help fix it while you all see to the lift." And he kind of,
As we're moving through.
yeah, like you can imagine, like yeah, you're all kind of like passing by in this
we do a
moment.
little.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Any
Follow.
other funny business, or do you move along with the herd, Nalian, to the lift?
I'll move right along.
I whisper
I
in
need
like
that
in
information.
Moth, like good luck. I'll hold it back here. Yeah, flutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like
flies.
Gandalf,
Flies.
with his mouth.
Wee.
See ya, guys.
Oh, that's amazing that you
Awesome.
guys split off from the group.
Oscar, we're in the shit now.
Wait, we're by ourselves. Oh no.
We're by ourselves.
Jade cream top hat.
It's only one guard, and his name is Richard Cream Top Hat. We could take him.
We need to get our stuff is upstairs.
I know. We're here, but we're gonna be fine.
We gotta get upstairs somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. This guy's no problem. Don't worry about it.
Meanwhile, back in the prison cell, it's quiet for the most part. Some of the other cellmates, Zahn and Ezric, seem a little concerned, like, never done a group that large before. Must be pretty fucked. And this is kind of Ront sort of like grunting this out as he just leans on the wall. Shushar's resigned himself to meditating back in the center of the room, and Stool is like anxiously pacing around. Turvey
Yeah,
is retreated to the far back of the cell.
Zahn just like paces in front of the door. He does like a couple laps and just kind of like looking out, and then
You did more than a couple laps, sir.
that is not all Zahn. Thank you very much. Ezric's going batshit crazy in here.
He's moving so fast.
And then Zahn just like kind of goes over to the corner and sits down and begins to meditate.
Okay.
He's still going.
You start to trance out a little bit, and you kind of sense that Stool couldn't help himself and like scattered some spores around you all, and you can you almost like sync up with Shushar the Awakened, and fall into a trance with
Hmm.
him as you both meditate here in this room.
Mm.
That's cool.
And like you can see him imagining these sort of half crazed fish people, and like he's just standing there in a sea of all of them, and he's just meditating, and he's looking around at all of them. He's like, I can show you a better way.
We don't know much about this dude.
And he kind of like claps his hands together.
Zahn like kind of gets lost in the like as breathing, and he's perceiving that, and his eyes continually are drawn to like the shadows that just permeate this entire place, and he like purposefully like projects his mind into that area and just meditates quietly.
Okay. Ezric, aside from pacing about frantically, searching for this newfound almost form of yourself that seemed to be in your hand, seemed to be floating with you and sharing your mind, the Shadow Phoenix winked out just as soon as your eyes opened this morning. But you know it was there, you know it was real, and you're pacing about this cell, wondering what could be happening to your allies. Are you doing anything particular?
So he's kind of concerned, kind of not. He's actually not concerned whatsoever. He's just pacing the cell. The only thing he's concerned about is where Xeno went. He's kind of still lost in that moment, and he heads toward. He just ends up near the gate
Okay.
of this cell.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Let me just do that for you.
Quickly looks up all the
Actually,
all the
too much.
checks.
Yeah, there it is. Let me just,
Suffers from Mulqueen textitis. Oh my god!
there it is.
That's a deception check, but I will accept the 18 roll, which is a
What?
+3.
It says Arcana on my
That's
screen.
just Arcana for me.
Oh,
That
wait.
says-
Oh, I was scrolled up.
This is Arcana too.
I was scrolled up and saw Oscar's deception check. I'm sorry. I said 19 + 3 is 22. That's a good Arcana check.
That's not bad.
After your time here and trying to do anything related to your magic, you know with certainty that the Drow have magically warded the entirety of this cell. You've seen them now use magic at least several times outside, but just as sure as your familiar vanished from your dreams, you know that no magic could be cast in here. But if you could find a way to get out of this cell, other parts of the outpost seem to have no issues when casting magic. That being said, you are. I don't know how you cast your spells. Is it through a focus item, or is it through a component pouch?
It's through a focus. It's it's kind of like a tattoo scar kind of symbol on my right wrist, essentially.
It would. I like that it would channel through that, and that would be part of it. There would need to be some sort of physical, and this is just for game mechanics reasons. So there would need to be some sort of physical item that you also used as a focus. So whatever that is, it would likely be with the rest of your supplies.
Okay.
And you do not have that along with anyone else who casts spells in here. And so any of your spells, like where it says components, it'll have like a V, an S, or an M that stands for vocal, like some sort of noise. S stands for somatic, which is some kind of like you have to like do the signs, Hadouken. And M is material, and for any of you casters, anything with a material component, unless you've already found something to suffice for the need of that, you can't cast those spells.
Okay, so say it were a sign, could it be something like etching a symbol into the ground?
Yeah. Like and I encourage all of you who cast spells to like look at the components required, the description of the spell, and try to like embrace and reskin it in a way that makes sense for your character, which most of you guys have already done splendidly. So like Thunderclap, for example, is just a somatic component. You could cast that spell. However, let's see, your Armor of Agathis spell, you would need your focus item
Hmm.
to be able to actually cast that.
So, to conjure my familiar, would I be able to etch something in the ground out, like reach outside of the cell and
Your
do?
your familiar is sort of a unique one-off in that it's very different than a normal find familiar spell. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
That is innately tethered between you and your patron.
So
Um,
wherever I stand, like, I'm just trying to figure out if I could
Yeah.
like reach outside of the cell and like
Oh, no.
cast a spell.
No. You would need to be fully
Okay.
free of the cell,
Gotcha.
the gate and all.
Hmm. I'm not quite sure what you are getting at, so I think I'm just gonna.
No. This is just a check-in. If you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
if you guys anything you wanted to get up to, if you were talking,
yeah. Hmm.
biding your time, we can certainly skip ahead. I just wanted to do a little check-in on you.
I feel like there's something I could do, but I'm not sure what it is. So let's just.
Dude, I'm on a mission.
Um,
I'm not
It-
doing anything.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
Yeah.
there's no right answer.
Zan's by just Sean, just like totally just do what Sarek would do.
Yeah, you don't have to do
Whatever that is. If he's pacing, totally cool. If you would
Trance.
talk to somebody or
And if you have
Yeah,
an idea
he's-
coming up to that moment, use that idea. And if you don't,
I think he's just pacing around the cell, muttering to himself, trying to figure out where. Like he saw his companion from another dimension, and he's just concerned with that and like how. Like he's not
yeah.
completely sure why he can't summon the Phoenix here.
Yeah,
And
I like to think of your amazing Arcana check as you like examining the cell. You're sort of putting all of the bits of things you've seen together in this moment as you pace around. You know, you're like, "Fuck, the Drow have warded this thing, and if I want to cast magic, I need to, free myself of this prison." Because you've seen them use spells outside of it. You're not sure if it's related to the manacles or the cell, but you're pretty sure it's the cell.
yeah,
All right.
God damn it, Cell.
So
fucking cell.
let's jump over to the lift. And
Hello.
as you let me pull up the side view again. Actually, hold on. So you all gather up in that sort of common area between those two stalactites. And again, just to kind of give you some context, you guys are here. Basically on the landing here between these two towers, these two inverted towers. And you see the Quaggoth, like two of them, it's not uncommon for them to be there. They're usually like on guard, working and watching the lift. You see them like clambering around with ease, just as easily as like you walk. They're kind of like climbing up on the stalactite, hanging off of the arm of the lift, this massive piece of wood, looking down, looking back up. And one of them kind of like hiccups a little bit, like, and they're speaking in Undercommon as the Drow guard approaches, and he's looking at them, shaking his head, and you can hear him like scorn and like almost like chastise these two Quaggoth. And the Drow just like kind of fucking points his finger off towards where you all came from. And you can tell like just from the body language and the interaction alone, he's telling them just get the fuck out of here. And the two of them scamper off. They just
Just
go
play
like
Quagoth.
they just go like bounding off. And
Fucking workplace harassment.
They
yeah.
Anakin off.
uh, and Nalian, like you to make a perception check.
Oh shit! I'm the only one that's gonna be able to roll that shit.
First step. Oh, okay. 16's good.
Alright.
16's good.
You see from the tower here, looking out from the doorway. It's just kind of like a slight sloping stone ramp that goes up into the actually sorry, it's like another slight rope bridge, but it's just a small section to go up to this from the ground. But standing in the doorway with another guard is Jorlin, looking at you, kind of giving you a concerned look. And you can't really make heads or tails out of what exactly is going on, but you can tell that he seems concerned. And he just kind of goes back inside and disappears from view. The Quaggoth behind you, like you kind of catch this as you're starting to be like forcefully shuffled forward, and the Drow's like starting to lay tools and everything out near the embankment here. He says, "All right, all right, all right." Drops a bunch of rope on the ground, several coils of it, with grappling hooks on the other end. And there are replacement boards, extra coils of rope that they're not unfurling. And they're basically implying that the lift is partially broken and kind of like dangling. It's the top of it is held by several ropes, and one of them has like snapped, and it's got the whole thing kind of ajar. And right now, it looked like they were trying to haul up some supplies from down below. When you've done work that they keep like a small stash of supplies down there. And in the past, there was a job where you were asked to bring stuff down there for any of Drow patrols that might be going by who wouldn't come up to the outpost. And for whatever reason, they were trying to bring these supplies up. And it looks like when the lift sort of broke and swung partially free, that half the supplies are caught in various parts of the spider webbing.
Okay.
They're asking you all to do several things. One, some of you are meant to climb down on top of the lift, while some of you stay up on top of the arm and try to like re-engineer and reconnect the rope to the pulley system to the top of the lift. Two, they're getting the lot of you, probably about three of you, to basically spelunk your way down the cliff's edge about 50 feet into where the spider webbing is catching a lot of these barrels and crates. And the others are meant to, like, whatever they latch onto them, haul and pull them up over the cliff's edge.
And what are the tools we're using?
Pretty crude. There's like hammers and pythons to like kind of like nail in as you go down to help with the scaling of the wall, and then spider silk rope attached to grappling hooks on the other end.
Okay.
The Drow's just kind of like smiling and says, oh, "I sure hope the spiders aren't hungry. It'd be a shame if one of you made for a nice snack, yeah?" And the Quaggoth just kind of push you all closer to the cliff's edge.
Well, it's gonna be a snack today here, leotard. Nice embroidery, I say, as I hop down.
I did
I don't
relish-
want to go, but I've already committed.
Okay. So you're going down for some of the supplies?
So the options were to repair the, get supplies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get some supplies.
Okay. So the natural inclination I imagine would take like the pack of like
Right.
pythons and hammer and like one of the grappling hooks, and you'd be like
Yep.
making your
Rappel
way down.
down.
Yeah, exactly. Um, you see, Jim Jar offers to secure your line at the top here. You can kind of see him looking at the other fellows around here a bit pessimistically. He says, I don't like the feeling of this, and
I don't either.
I'll keep my eye out.
But I'm glad you're you're holding my rope down. I don't know if I trust any of the other putzes.
You see Bupidu starts climbing across the arm of the lift. He has to like first climb up on like the banister that makes up the side rail and like get up on top and sort of crawl his way across, and it's a little slow going. Nalian, when you make a afraid it would be an athletics check, man.
Did you say I'm afraid?
Well, athletics would
Too. I'm
be
afraid of that
climbing.
too. But it
Yeah.
is also quite acrobatic.
That's true.
Just
I'm
all
in.
the
I'm in.
climbing.
I'm into it. A little Cirque du Soleil style.
Yeah. I feel like it's more acrobatic.
Okay. Why don't you join me on the side view map?
I'm coming.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, hey, spiders that I love so much.
Oh, hi, Spider. You are my favorite spider.
I did not hit her. I did not.
You, you travel down, and the rope, like as you're kind of like going down, just snaps, and before you know it, you're like snow angeling in the bed of spider webbing, and like you just feel stuck in. And you see Jim Jar like looking down over the edge at you with like a oh fuck. You can hear the drow snickering, and it's almost like as if he's calling forward spiders to come have a snack. You see,
What can I do?
you see,
If only you had allies to help you.
Can I
you see
take?
Topsy take up the grappling hook as well, and Sereth kind of joins Jim Jar in trying to like hold the line up top, and Topsy starts attempting to make her way down as well.
Can I take the reins while this is happening?
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, Topsy's making her way down there. All right, so the others set into their own tasks. The Quaggoth and the Drow kind of watch with like a sort of deranged amusement, not offering any help whatsoever at the moment. But meanwhile, back in the guard tower.
Ever since then, I would chew mint before talking to a woman.
And that's how I became a minty.
It's a very good trick.
The drow kind of takes like the non-pointy end of his spear and just like pokes you, old dwarf. Just less talk, more repairs.
Yes, supplies. Bro, what do we need?
So I have questions. So my hunter's mark says when I use an strike,
When you use a what?
an armed strike, right? Till spawns, you get an extra 1d6 damage until the target. Blah 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 blah.
It's just if you just hit it, if you attack something and hit it.
So I don't have to have a weapon equipped, right? Like I
No.
can just punch it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my intent is, meanwhile, while the spiders are attacking my friends, I want to take Rigid Cream Top Hat. I want to use Hunter's Mark on him. Because we're outside of the magic casting thing, right?
Yes. Yep. So let me just double check Hunter's Mark. It's a vocal only component. Yep.
Hey you! Hey! And then I want to grapple him.
He's like mid poke in Oscar with his spear.
Ooh, can I see this happening and then try to grab the spear?
Yeah.
You can try. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a surprise.
You can try.
Disarm him.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Surprise! I'm not
he wasn't-
stabbed.
Yeah, he wasn't stabbing me. He was just kind of poking me. I just want to like
again-
turn around, like grab it, and then like try to tug it out of his arms.
You are restrained.
Maybe he
so-
didn't expect it though.
So that's fine. With that, you would with disadvantage just make a dexterity check.
Oh shit. All right, hang on. Here's the other one. Hey,
Oh,
a
God.
6.
Okay.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's a save. Wait, that's a save.
It's the roll.
it's the same
the
thing.
roll. Yeah, the roll counts. The same thing too. Yeah. So
Hey.
your manacled arms like try to reach for the end of his spear, and he just like pulls it back and cracks you across the face with it.
Hey, that's an old man.
You take 1 point of damage from that.
Dwarf.
That's an old dwarf.
What are you doing, Ro?
And Ro, you're casting Hunter's Mark on him?
I'm casting Hunter's Mark on him, and I'm going to come at him with my chains around my wrists. I'm going to try and wrap them around his neck.
Okay.
If I can offer any, like, what I was doing was a distraction to help that. That's
Okay.
what my goal was.
I will allow that to count basically as like aiding another in combat.
Okay.
Because it's
Okay.
basically
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a distraction. Hold on.
Choke him out, Kyle.
Yeah. What do I gotta roll? What do we gotta roll here?
Choke this bitch out. Face for you.
I think with aid it would give you advantage, but since you have disadvantage, it's just a
just
straight
cancel.
roll.
It's
Yeah.
just regular.
Well, so here's the deal.
That's
So here's the ruling. So
Okay.
you've successfully certainly distracted him. In Ro, you start shouting at him, casting your Hunter's Mark. Now your Hunter's Mark, if you hit, you
Yep.
deal extra damage,
Yep.
and you have advantage on perception and survival checks. I'm just trying to see if you get advantage on the attack with Hunter's Mark too. I don't think so.
I don't
right?
think I do. I don't think
No.
I do.
No.
Okay.
It's basically if I hit,
Yeah.
then I get
So
bonuses.
You have guidance.
your restraint. Oh, you're trying to give him guidance.
No. I already gave him that. Like way
Okay.
back. When,
Okay.
when we were coming back.
Oh, on
from
the
room.
bridge. On the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
should've done
your restraint would normally have you at disadvantage to try to like land this unarmed strike, because Oscar is essentially aiding your attack by distracting him. That would cancel out.
Oh, the back
so,
massages.
So if you want, again, like with how this works,
Hell
you just click the button for Hunter's Mark on your sheet, and it'll apply that buff to you. And then go ahead and roll to attack normally with the unarmed strike.
All right, I'm doing it. Oh, come on, guys.
Oh
my God! He's going. I put my chains around his neck and I pull tight, and he's like, oh! And then I march towards the edge. And
What do you say to him?
I say, good night. And then I throw him over the edge, and I snap his neck over as he goes over the edge.
Roll damage, and it should automatically apply the Hunter's Mark. Let's
Oh, come
let's
on,
see
you
how.
bitch.
I love your
Okay.
enthusiasm.
Yes.
You
Come on.
you immediately like clock him
Oh
and
no, he's
wrap
not dead.
wrap your manacles around him, but he's like fighting and kicking
no.
and screaming.
Good night, sweet prince.
And he just starts
Os-
shouting.
Oscar, we're in the shit now.
Yeah. I look around. Is there any like iron? I need a like an iron bar or
I need an
something that's
iron.
as
Uh,
effective as that.
What are
those
the webs made out of?
You
Like
you
a
look
poker
around. You
or
look
a
around and don't see
staff.
anything, Oscar. But you see the
Candle.
ladder and the hatch upstairs. And
Let's
you
go up.
feel
You're
like
right there, dude.
like when they were getting the iron spikes for the climbers,
Yeah.
you saw them go upstairs and grab that.
Rue, you got this. I'm gonna go upstairs.
I got this.
And then I try to go upstairs and
Okay.
catch one of those spikes.
Yeah, you'd be able to move past him because like technically right now, Ro and the Drow are restrained with each other.
Yeah.
Is that like a spider? Like, are they like stuck? They're basically
Sexual
stuck, right?
feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
You,
god, we're in the shit now. Here
I was
we
gonna
go.
say, how much can we get done before you cut away?
You haven't moved yet, so if you want, I allow you to kind of make your way up the ladder up to the upper level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just put you on the outside, and we'll just call that
Okay.
upstairs.
Okay.
So you get up there, and you see just lined around the room, chain shirts, studded leather armor, numerous shields, numerous crossbows, cases of crossbow bolts, short swords, daggers, bags
my
of
God.
caltrips,
Yeah.
much
Kick it all
finer,
in.
much notably finer
Machine
lengths,
gun.
100-foot
Grenade.
lengths of silk rope. Like you can
And
tell the
not-
stuff that.
Locked up.
No, this is clear like just like an open armory.
Also
You
fitting-
see basic tools, hammers, and you do in fact see bags of iron spikes like next to them. Loosely
Fitty,
in the
the-
far side of the room, you see just like several open trunks with a bunch of random shit, and like protruding out, you see weapons and pieces of clothing and stuff that look vaguely familiar.
Okay.
Fitty, the wording was I wrapped my chain neck and I pulled as hard as I could.
Yep.
Just in case he tries to cry out.
Okay.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Trying to choke the wind out of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Okay.
try to go get one of those iron spikes.
Ro, you kind of get like as you pull.
I pull as hard as I can.
Okay.
Shit's going down, boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prison cell, gentlemen. I'll be back with you shortly. Bear with me. Nalian.
Yeah, that's me.
Nailing on the ropes. You see Topsy coming down. Says, "Yeah, you all right
Oh.
down there?"
Yeah, would it be fair to say that when my rope snapped at the grappling hook, it didn't stay latched, that it came down with me, perhaps
Yeah.
somewhere in my vicinity?
Yeah. You can see it not too far from your reach, like kind of
Okay.
also stuck in the spider webbing.
Okay.
And yeah, you see Topsy kind of like dangling over the edge, like, "You all right down there?"
I've been better. It's kind of shitty.
You like as you're laying there, you can in fact see the thing that they were hauling up, and it looks like it's actually several small kegs of probably some form of wine or whatever is closest to that down here.
Fuckers.
And there's two of them. One not too far from you, like one's like towards your right arm, the grappling hook's to the left, and then where Topsy's coming down, it looks like she's sort of reclining down closer to the other keg, the cask, if you will.
When I know like older time boozes and wines and stuff like that had higher alcohol content. Can I see when I'm looking at these casks? Can I see a proof?
No. You can only tell that like whatever it is, it was just stored in some like very basic cask, like a small keg almost.
Do I feel
Um,
like it could be flammable?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's all
You,
I want to know.
you could smell it on their breath at times. Whatever this shit is they drink, it smells very potent.
Okay.
So you see all this, and you're I don't know like what your first inclination is to do in this moment. Obviously, with your issue with spiders, you can't be feeling the greatest
I
right
don't feel great. No, I don't like spiders.
now.
This is Indiana Jones in the snake pit. I am not in a very comfortable position.
I mean, so what's the first gut reaction thing?
I reach for the
The
claw.
hook. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You find it fairly hard to pull yourself up. I need you to make a strength check.
Uh
Bailey, don't ring the goddamn bell right now.
oh.
Making a
This is
goddamn
not
strength
when-
check. Not a
Stop it, dog!
constitution. Okay.
All right. You manage to like peel and wrench like your side up and get that arm free, and you kind of like reach over and yank and pull on like the grappling hook, and it's got about like 10 feet of rope on it still. And on the other end, you've got like the hook.
Okay. I immediately wrap part of the rope around my hand and around my wrist,
Okay.
and I hold it. An old ranger trick I saw being used was to be able to throw it like a whip almost and pull it back.
Yeah, you've got yourself anchored. And you're kind of doing this, and Topsy's like just getting down close to the barrel, like almost like she's like starting to like clink clink clink, like hammer in some pythons to try to give herself like a non-sticky web foothold, as she like hovers right above the cask that's set into the web beneath her. And like you're wrapping your wrist, you're seeing all this, and you see like Quaggoth, one of the Quaggoth near the arm of the lift, like lean over with its hulking form, and the Drow, who's over closer to Topsy's side, just says, "By the Spider Queen, what the fuck is that?" And like
Watch your mouth.
you don't see anything, you just feel this like flitting sense of unease just fly past through the darkness in the chambers, and you're sure as shit that wasn't a bat,
The fuck?
and it wasn't a spider, but whatever it is, it definitely disturbed
Mm-mm.
the spider webbing, because like now there's this like offset
Mm-mm.
trembling in the web, and you can like feel the shaking for the part of your body that's still stuck in, and Topsy looks down at you and looks back up at the Drow, and the Drow is just like, what the fuck? You watch these fools, and you can just see him like kind of run off towards one of the guard towers.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is good situation. Sweet.
I'm just gonna do a little housekeeping here for a moment.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you
Shit,
getting
yeah.
rid of my character sheet? Is
Yeah.
that making room?
Casey,
Making room in your hard
I
drive?
think I got you.
Cool.
Got you.
Um,
In the other chat.
Okay. Meanwhile, Ro grappling the guy, like his initial gasp is like choked out by the initial damage. I need you to make an opposed strength check as he tries to fight and push the chains off of his neck in this moment.
Come on, Kyle. Like
Come on.
a save or just like an ability?
Just a straight check. You don't have a high bar to meet here. And
Oh, no!
you pull tighter on the chains, and you basically, anytime you would have the opportunity to do Hunter's Mark damage, you need to just click that buff button and then roll your damage. But basically, you can make a free additional unarmed strength with Hunter's Mark on damage check or damage roll on him.
I will 100% do that if you repeat how to do that.
And in fact, actually, as you're in this moment, like in this struggle, it feels pretty close to life and death in this moment to you. You're wrapping your manacled wrists around his throat tighter, and that training, that torturous combat that you were put through with your brothers under the guise of that father figure is kicking in. And in fact, you should probably click the button next to Colossus Slayer and the button next to Hunter's Mark, and then roll your unarmed strike damage.
Colossus Slayer and Hunter's Mark.
And now you roll and drop the damage on this guy's token.
Oh my fucking god, we're doing it!
You don't need to attack, just the damage.
Oh.
You've already
We're
got.
doing
You
it!
beat him in the strength check.
Oh my.
And you like just twist and snap his neck.
Oh!
And the body drops. And
Nice.
the clinking sound of keys at his waist make an audible, delightful noise to your half-drow ears.
His keys clink to the ground, and as his neck snaps, I toss him over the edge into the spider webs.
No, not the keys!
Which bridge?
No, the keys are on the ground. The keys
They're
are
on his hip.
They're on his hip.
Oh, I thought they were
around
on the
his
ground.
belt.
All right, never mind then. I thought they were on the ground.
What are
and
you
I was
doing?
gonna
You've
toss
got
them-
a dead drow in your arms right now. What are you doing?
I take the key. I take the keys, and then I throw his corpse over the side onto the webs.
That's gonna take. I mean, you're in manacles with a dead body limp against the slack of the chains in your arms, and you're somehow going to. Are you dropping the body?
I'll take the keys. Yeah,
So-
I drop
so
the body to the ground.
Treating this like micro moments, you're gonna drop the body to the ground, and now you're gonna have to spend some time trying to get these keys off of his belt. Have you ever dealt with a fucking keyring before? Fucking miserable.
Look,
Like I hope you've got fingernails.
I have.
I have the
roll am I
keyring app.
rolling? Yeah, what roll am I rolling?
No roll. It's just time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right,
Yeah.
you drop the body to the ground. Oscar, you're upstairs.
I'm getting that iron spike, and I'm loading a crossbow, and then I go back to the
Oscar!
the opening, and I come down the ladder a couple steps, and I level the crossbow, and I see the dead body already there, standing over it, like digging for the keys. I'm like, oh, and then I go back up the stairs again, and then I just start getting like all our shit, and then I'm just like I'm throwing. I find my shield, I throw it down there. I find some swords, I throw it down there, and I'm like dumping as much shit as possible just down the ladder.
Much like Ro trying to get the keys off, like the two of you could just be in parallel, montaging your balls off, like just stockpiling shit in this room while trying to free
Getting it
yourself.
ready.
You feel if you took time to help, you could probably move quite a bit faster, unmanacled, but you are moving fast enough.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. All right.
Are there swords on the guard?
No, this guy had a spear and a shield, if you recall, but Oscar is probably throwing any number of random objects down.
Anything you need.
Yeah.
Landing on the ground
That's fine. That's fine.
There is... Let me just pull something up real quick.
Oscar, baby.
You did it!
Yeah!
You did it!
We snapped his neck!
That was awesome.
Dude, you did everything. Fuck.
We've got all the loots!
Now-
all the loots!
So I know my shield's up here, and I could probably cast locate object to like find it specifically, but I'm sure I'll just stumble across it.
Yeah.
But I'm
It
sure
can't
like
be
they
that
probably have
big,
all
yeah.
our shit like in a special trunk or something.
Oh,
So
no!
if I find that, then I'll make sure I throw your stuff down there too.
The
Yeah.
fart of Gondor!
You hear, and like only adding to the reverberations in the webbing that you're still partially stuck in, Nalian, all of you in various portions of this outpost hear a distant horn that you think came from the southwestern guard tower, like one of those smaller ones that overlooks the Underdark, and it blows forth once more. You've never heard anything like this in your time here, even in your escape.
No.
And there is something going on. And Nalian, like as you still have this thing wrapped, you're looking at your fellow inmates around you, and Jimjar gives you a look, Topsy gives you a look. You kind of innately know that whatever the fuck flew past has got these Drow spooked. And if the Drow are spooked, you feel like you might have a little cause for concern yourself.
Super spider.
Meanwhile,
We're fucked. Get out.
you two things happen.
Oh no.
Two Quaggoth come shambling back towards the guard tower. You can hear them and see their approaching forms as you stand over the body of this guard row.
Oscar.
At this
Oscar!
point, you've managed to secure the keys and get your manacles free. And Oscar, you've probably thrown about half of the... I'd say probably about 25% of the equipment plus some random shit down the hatch to the lower level here.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like a fishing rod and a shield and like a spike. Like, yeah. Here you go, buddy.
Okay.
What are you doing? You feel like you've got about one round before things get spicy.
Unlock me.
All right, Ro runs up. He looks around for swords first of all.
Yeah, you find one.
Roll.
Do I?
Roll a percentage die.
Oh, I will do that.
Just beat a 25.
80. How's 90?
Yeah,
Yep.
how's that?
You find one of your former swords.
What about a second sword?
Roll another percentage die.
How about
Yes.
88?
Yeah, how's that?
I find two scimitars. I look at them and they gleam in the
You
Underdark.
find your scimitar and your offhand sword, which was a short sword.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like, oh baby, and then I run up to Oscar upstairs, and
I feel like you would kiss them.
I don't kiss them. I look at the Underdark in the reflection. I'm like, it's pretty, and then I run up to Oscar, and I slam a key down into his manacles. I'm like, hey, you're free now, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love you. And then I give you a nice little squeeze on your arms as you're unlocking.
Okay. I like it.
Can I find my shield?
Percentage me.
Oh, I want a percentage.
Oh, come on. I just rolled 280 pluses. Oh, 44!
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No,
just
you find your shield.
Okay.
Nice.
Ah, my holy symbol is on this shield.
Oscar, I think we're about to fucking kick shit in.
They're gonna see all the mess downstairs.
Are you looking for
What should we
anything
do?
else in the equipment?
How long does it take to put on a chain shirt?
It takes some time, actually.
Is it around? Or is it... I actually don't know. I'm asking seriously.
No, yeah, it's a great question, and we should answer it real quick here on tonight's episode. Because donning and doffing armor is a real motherfucker.
It depends on the armor, right? Like, some armors are like 10 minutes. That's,
Yeah. Here you go.
What if I help him, though? Could it take like 5 minutes?
Yeah. It actually
Uh,
cuts it
Montage.
down.
Don is putting it on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Don.
Don's
Yeah,
taking
Don. Yeah. So yeah, chain.
Light.
Medium?
1 minute.
Light
Oh
him?
god, that's 10 rounds. No.
Yeah.
Okay, can't do it. It's a minute. Screw that. Here. Do you need anything else? Shield, weapons, what?
I just think I need a good back massage. And
I gave it to your wrists. Here you go. Okay. Let's do this. Let's set a trap. And then I hand Ro a crossbow. So it's like as soon as they come through the door, we'll both fire at the same one.
I'd look at the crossbow and I'd look at him like, trap?
That's all I have.
it's no problem to find a crossbow. Like this place is just like
I
drowning.
loaded one in, like the
crossbows.
previous round, so yeah.
I aim where I imagine a dick would be when it comes up the stairs.
All right.
Oh no, like well, are you? Yeah, we're upstairs. So are we
Yep.
aiming at the trap door? Like if they like
Yeah,
stick their
we're-
head up?
We're aiming
Okay,
down
yeah,
it.
yeah,
We're aiming
Let's
down
do that.
I thought you guys were throwing gear down the hole.
I was, but then Ro came
I
up
came
to
up.
unlock me.
Yeah. We're both
Okay.
unlocked, and now we're aiming at dicks.
Yep.
Okay. Two Quaggas kind of like stumble, like almost like there's something wrong with them into the room.
Oh.
And you find them to be fairly easy marks right now. So with your crossbows sort of lined up and with advantage, you may fire to shoot.
Yes.
How
Alright.
do I make the advantage?
You just hit
I
that
see.
button on the bottom left of the Fantasy Grounds.
I see
Main
disadvantage.
It's above that.
Oh, shit.
ADB.
Let me move my advantage. There we go.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna fire at the one that's closest to us to the south. Hardy.
What do I have, like a +1? Oh, plus proficient.
Why
plus
can't
3.
I
Okay.
fucking? Okay.
It's on your actions tab.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a
And
minute. How
then
come I didn't
Should
do
be-
my thing?
it should be on your actions tab, and then you can roll damage, Oscar.
I'm not sure which the damage is.
It's the 1d8.
Oh, D8. Mm-hmm. Boom.
How come I have advantage right now?
Because these guys look
Oh,
like
okay.
they're out of it.
Dude,
Well, I think I hit. I
critted.
think I hit him.
you got a 20.
Yeah.
You
I shoot
fired
him
that guy.
right in his eyeball, and it goes right through and sticks right next to the other one.
You both fire at him, and he kind of like staggers a little bit and looks up at you, and the other one who
What?
remains unhit like looks up at you as well.
You better run, or we're gonna shoot you in the other eyeball.
You hear like a shaking on the bridge, like fast, swift footfalls come charging through,
No!
and you
With
see
that-
you see Jorlin come running forward with two short swords, and he just slices the head off of one of the Quaggas and drives his sword into like the spinal cord of the other one, and like rides the body down to the ground before ripping the blade up, looking at you all and said, "Plans fucking changed." And you see him just like run past, and it's looks like he's making his way to the prison cell.
Oh no! Oh no! He
He's
killed.
letting everybody out.
He killed the guys that we had trouble with.
Is he on our side now?
No, he's not on our side. He's not.
he's
He's
just
gonna kill
gonna kill
everybody.
everything.
He's
The
gonna kill
enemy of our
everybody.
enemy might be our friend.
He's gonna kill
Zod!
all the Drow.
Zod, look out!
What can we do? Do we have move?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Can we fire at him again? How do I whisper to Zod?
He's
I know,
already
I think
at
he's
us,
helping.
dude. He's here.
I think he's
Well,
helping.
he's locked out.
may
Though.
not
He's
be-
locked out. He's locked out.
Zon and Ezric, you hear like a slightly winded Jorlin with like blood dripping from his swords. He kind of like quickly sheaths them and looks at you all, says, "Good luck," and he just throws a key into the cell.
What?
He is on our side.
Yeah.
Ezric
I-
reacts and because he knows that he's gonna do this and catches the key.
Oh.
Both of you can make a dexterity check.
Oscar, we fucking we lucked out. 3! Come on!
Oh.
Ezric knew he would be there and just
Tell the
seems to
door!
like grab the key through the opening in the cell, and all of the prisoners just fucking laser focus on you, and like everyone's notably shaken from the sounds of that horn still kind of like vibrating in their ears. All of you in the cell kind of like start gathering around. People start coming forward, and like in a fit of excitement, Stool just like spread spores, and like you immediately start hearing like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's happening, it's happening. I'm gonna go this time. I'm gonna go this time. What do we do? What do we do? And he's just like sort of like hopping around on his little stump legs a little bit. And Prince Darendil like chimes in. We should make our move. How do we get down? Is there gear? And like Ron said, just point me to some drow and uncuff me. And he just puts his manacles forward and he's looking at Ezric and just sort of forces his way to the front.
Zahn just like steps in front of everybody and just like, listen, this is part of the plan that I told you about yesterday. Okay, literally let him unlock our chains and we'll go and collect our gear.
Quickly!
We can figure out what the hell is going on. If you're gonna freak out, we can leave you in this fucking prison, piece of shit.
While Zahn's talking, he's already unlocking Zahn's fucking, what are they called?
Manacles.
Things.
Yeah.
Manacles. Thank you.
Okay.
Can Rogue communicate with them via whistles and ranger moves?
No,
Can he try
I don't
that?
understand Ranger, and you're way far away, and you think that he's a bad guy, so no.
Okay.
Your things are happening in parallel, so at the moment, treat these like separate scenes. So okay, you start unlocking Zahn's manacles. And who's next? Where do you go from there?
Ezric walks over to Stool and picks Stool up. Does Stool
He's got a
have
special?
Does yeah? What does he have?
He's got like weird manacles that they tried to like rig around his like little legs. It's very pointless, but
right.
still a hindrance.
So as Ezric's unlocking Stool's manacles, he is also. This is all happening in a whirlwind, I would assume.
Yeah.
He's also looking at Zahn, and he says, "Let us go, Zahn. This is all we need." And he starts walking towards the door.
Wow, Zahn follows.
And Ezric unlocks the door, and we step through, and closes and locks the door behind him.
What? Whoa! No, deception!
Zahn,
You didn't unlock
Zahn
anyone
puts his
else's?
hand- Zahn puts his hand on the key and gives him a look like, really, we're doing this right now?
Oh my god!
And Ezric Ezric says to Zahn, "Do you trust me?"
No.
Oh!
No. So
I haven't
Ezric,
trusted you this entire time since you led me to my near.
Okay. So Ezric just kind of tosses the key to Zahn and says, "Very well, have it your way," and walks along.
Oh!
Yeah,
With stools. He has stool. He's got stool.
R2D2.
I unlock the door and start unlocking the people.
Oh man. Oh
man.
Before the
Times,
door
so-
could fully close, like
Fine.
Ront and probably mostly just Ront was like trying to brute force hold the door open anyway, and he kind of looks at you like, "Good choice," and he like holds his manacles forward. He's kind of blocking your pathway to the other prisoners.
No, the other one's first, please.
Turvy kind of like sneaks in underneath Ront and like holds the manacles up. "I have to find my sister," and like you've never heard him speak.
Yeah, I unlock
and
his
you
thing
kind of hear him in
immediately.
your mind, I think, through the spores still. And for the record, Stool doesn't need to be with you once the spores are in you. But there is a limited range on how long
These
you have to be. You have
walkie-talkies.
to be within 30 feet of each other, basically, with another person infested with the spores.
I wonder if we can get like a booster for stool.
Amplify that shit.
Stool booster.
You note that as you unlock Turvy, I assume he kind of
I
like,
unlock all, just in
everyone.
order. Doesn't matter.
and Prince Darendil goes next. Shushar appears to just be like patiently waiting. So unless you
Yeah,
go
he's
to
last.
him, okay, then Ront goes out, and Ront's like looking all around. And as you look up to the north, you see that Jorlin has gone up towards the Quaggoth den and gone past it into the guard tower and closed the door behind him. But about a moment later, well, you assume you went that way. You can kind of hear the door close, and it's a different sound than the gates of like the caves and stuff like that. But you hear like an audible like, "Rrrah," and there's a number of Quaggoths. Shit, I didn't roll good. There's a number of Quaggoth that appear to be congregating up at the lower part of the landing down below where the Quaggoth den is, and you see about 4 of them amassing out near that landing, looking around into the tunnels below and looking down the pathway when they see all of you exiting your cell. And there is like a notable like roar! Like and like you think what they probably think is the horn was because of you. Like they just immediately turn towards you, and you just see off in like the distance again, like they're down below you. If you look at the side view, coming out of that cave, all the way to the screen left side. And
can you put that back up again? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, sure.
Just closed it.
One moment. So over
that's big.
here, down below is the Quaggoth den. You
Yeah.
you are there.
Right there. Yeah.
There.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they come out and start yelling, I'm ushering everybody to the stalactite. Like
Okay.
immediately. Like just pushing and shoving and just go. What are you doing? Go.
Okay. Let me just get my dudes on the map here. Tokens and shit. I'm gonna just remove things that are not breathing so good at the moment. And this guy.
Where's that Jemba? I don't hear him.
Maybe he's a little.
Yeah. Jampa, you so quiet.
Why turned him down last time?
You sound like crickets.
Ooh.
So like again, it's not they're not like charging out of this cell, Zahn, like, but they're kind of like slowly coming out of their den, like almost if they've been like drunkenly hibernating or who knows what, and like the horn is like still kind of like echoing and reverberating off into the distance, and you see them like looking around, and then they see you up above, and like the first 1 or 2 of them is like, "Wah! Wah!" And you can see them kind of like almost like apes, like getting ready to bound towards you. And you've seen these things like climb and scale walls like it's second nature to them. But you start ushering, and everyone's like just gives you like that
much.
oh shit, and you mentally, telepathically, you just hear that like fuck, and people start fucking running for it.
And as they get into this room, they just see piles of
Yeah.
weapons and gear on the floor.
They're
Bodies.
being shuffled down.
Bodies in
Bodies,
piles.
Yeah.
And here we will cut back to the cliff's edge.
Yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and clamber to. How far away is the crate? With the supplies?
It's only about 5 feet from you at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna try with this thing wrapped around. I'm going to try and make it loose around my wrist, so the head
Okay.
of the prongs.
Yeah.
I want to stick it into a barrel, and what my goal is to pull myself there and also puncture the barrel.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need to really do anything for that. It's a lockdown barrel. You kind of just like make your way over to it and just punch the hooks of the grappling hook into the side of it, and use it to just unpeel the other half of your body as you kind of like pull yourself up, and you can hear like the sloshing, spilling liquid. You can smell the pungent spirits kind of like dissipating over and around its location in the web.
I want to crack a hole in the top. I'm not having a good day right now.
Yeah.
And the goal is I'm trying to just get a couple of cupfuls into my mouth real quick. Like
Okay.
I need a drink.
Just pull yourself over and like just take a quick swig from the faucet, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And as I'm
that.
doing it, I'm also spilling it everywhere, all over these goddamn webs, everywhere, over
Hmm.
fucking everything,
Okay.
over the other fire barrels.
Topsy kind of like sees what you're doing as like she's already like got her hand on the one barrel. She's like, "What do you plan?"
I'm gonna start a fire. Up to her. It's the best option we got. And then just start fucking pouring everything on that supply crate. Is there? And I know I'm trying to be careful because I know that it's dwindling, right? I know it's broken. Is there anything like? Is there already weapons also being hauled up? Or yeah.
Just booze, from what you can see.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am shattering as many as I can, spilling it everywhere.
Okay. She
Barrels are
she
flying.
she follows suit and takes like the iron pitons and the hammer and just like pops the lid off her fucking cask, and
Great.
kind of
This is awesome.
looks at you and smiles and just kicks it over.
Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to take some of that barrel wood that's just fallen. I want to find the driest stuff, and I want to make a ball of it, like just really the driest of the cask that we were doing when we were hitting it. You know, like I'm sure like little kindling jumped off everywhere. I
Yeah.
want to take the driest stuff and make like a little ball out of it.
Okay. All right. Just holding on to that.
Yep.
Okay. You see Jim Jar and Sareth like looking down, concerned at you all, and they're kind of saying, "Listen, the Quaggoth, they're meandering about. They're not looking. What are you doing?"
I'm getting this party started. What the fuck does it look like I'm doing? And then I start going up. I just start going climbing the rope that's there. I don't care if this thing falls anymore. I'm just gonna climb the rope that still exists on the crate, you know, above the supply cart.
Are you talking about on the lift itself, or on the like back up on the cliff's edge?
Well, I'm on the cart, so I'm assuming I have to be on the cart to go straight up.
No. Basically,
What are my options?
if you could imagine, let me see in camera here. Like if this is you guys, you're like on webbing, and then beyond you, overhanging past the webbing, is the actual lift. So when the lift came up and spilled, it dropped shit onto like the webbing net that you're standing on right now.
Gotcha.
And so you see Eldith and Darrow, the two dwarf and dwarf-like creatures, crawling up on the upper arm of the lift, like mid-repair. You see Eldith like fashioning and hammering something and like cursing in dwarvish at the Darrow.
Okay. Well, then I just climb up the side then, with a mouthful of booze, spitting it all the way up, and drinking some.
Okay. Jim Jar takes like another length of loose rope and kind of like throws it down to you to try to like help pull you up.
And then, could I do one more thing when I get to the top? And this is as a signal. Who knows rangering things? I assume.
Jim Jar?
When I get to the top of this, I want to give rope signal
Oh, I'm listening.
whenever I can.
I mean, you could try. You have no idea where Ro is right now.
I know.
Send
I'm
it
gonna
out
take
in the
my
way of
metal
the ranger.
hammer, my metal claw, and I'm gonna find another piece of claw or another piece of metal like that's sitting around because I assume there's a bunch. I could get 2 grappling hooks and bang them together with my dry wooden ball underneath.
I
I'm
know
gonna
this signal.
spark it.
Yep.
And then the
Mhm.
ball's gonna catch on fire.
Yep.
Okay.
And once everybody's out of the shaft, I'm gonna throw it into the shaft.
Okay.
With
I mean, the Swerf Neblin near you, Topsy, she kicks over her cask. She's like, if you're gonna light this, we should get the fuck out of here. And she starts like climbing up.
Yes.
And you're waiting till you get up top as well before you start.
Yep.
Doing this. Okay.
I
So
get
you
all the way
start.
to the top, big ball of fire that I'm gonna throw down at it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I'm imagining like Jim Jar's like lowered you another length of rope. I don't know if you're holding onto that. You've got like grappling hook arm off the other side, and as you're climbing up, you can see like the shimmering in the spider webs increases tenfold, and like emerging out of like the depths of this shit is
Oh
just
no!
and like between both of you is this giant spider that
No!
comes skittering
Fuck!
up.
God, I fucking hate
No!
this.
No!
Topsy's like holding on to like the last python just out of reach from Sereth, and you're like part way up to Jim Jar with your grapple arm, and you see this thing just come like peeling out of like again like crisscrossed layers of webbing. It's almost like just undulating out of like sand, if you will, but instead it's layers of webbing.
Okay.
And you sense this thing's like come for food.
Oh shit!
Yep. Okay.
You're
Can I-
not the food. There's
Can I do
NPCs.
something about that?
Yeah. What's your reaction?
I was gonna cast Guiding Bolt because it looks like it was really into Topsy, and she just fucking risked her neck for me. So I'm gonna return the favor.
Okay. Yeah, you can try.
17's good. Plus 4.
You kind of phase out for a moment and
Oh, yeah.
return like I don't know how you want to tell us about it.
Again, I don't even have a bow, but I pulled my fingers across my wrist, and comes this light, just as if there was a bow, a bow there. The arrow is now being knocked, and I just let go, and this lit arrow just streams across the sky into this thing's fucking nutsack abdomen.
Right in the nutsack.
Yeah.
All right, you may roll damage. Oh shit. There's just like a notable blast as this thing like recoils back from the attack. And in this moment, it reaches and tries to bite as a reaction, Topsy. And it's almost as if like your blast has completely like thrown it off, and it misses as Topsy like grabs onto the python, kind of like swings free from the biting maw, and she takes her hammer and just swings at the thing. We'll use that, and she hits. Sure. And she like cracks into the side of the head with the hammer, and she says, "Go, go, go!" And let's see, Sereth is trying to pull her up, and is not having a good time. Like with the way she's swinging around, wildly hammering, like he's like almost losing his footing at the edge. And Jimjar, not so big himself, in kind is trying to like forcibly pull you up out of harm's way, and like a fucking boss just starts like pulling you, and before you know it, like your footing is back on solid ground. You see Bupito and Eldith out on the arm of the lift, like, and you kind of clock them for a moment, and before you know it, there's just like this flitting sound of like once more, like these dark forms are flying all around you, and you hear a scream far from the south, probably from like one of the southern Drow outposts, and you look at the two dwarves, for lack of a better term, and look up to the sky and see like a form falling, and it's just like a thunk, 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 and a severed drow head, still dripping with blood, is kind of rolling to and fro until it eventually stops right between the two Quaggoth who are watching. They look up at the sky, and you can see them kind of like, and they just start bounding away from you in opposite directions.
Awesome.
Eldith just kind of screams, "What in the nine hells is that?" and you see like these winged creatures battling each other more than they seem intent on battling you. And they're going at it. These winged creatures are just flying and flitting about all levels of the upper portions of this chamber right now. And it's not the most perfect image, but it should give you a good sense of the feeling we're after here. 1 second.
What the fuck?
I don't like winged creatures. This isn't good.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh.
What?
Bats.
And
We're fighting bats.
if you were to find and replace each and every one of those bats with two very distinct winged demonic looking creatures, one of them resembling much more of some strange vulture humanoid hybrid, and the other more of like an insect, like fly humanoid hybrid. And these things appear to be battling each other and just completely going at it, picking up anything and anyone that seemed to get in their way. And you see like the torso of a drow still clenched in that vulture-like creature's mouth that it just drops into the spider webbing. And a bunch of like hundreds of these things are flying about the chamber right now. And once more you hear like one last blow of this war horn from the distant tower to the south, although this time it seems like the person blowing it doesn't hold for very long. Both of the dwarves are like, "Fuck this! Fuck the lift!" And like you see Eldith just like drop whatever she was holding, and the lift sort of swings intact, but still only 3 of the 4 ropes appear to be holding it. And she starts like crawling her way across the arm, and the Darrow is moving behind her as well. What are you doing?
Well, I want to hit the spider one last time because I fucking hate him.
Okay.
With
Fuck
my
spiders.
clawed rope, I swing it,
Fuck,
and then I just bring it long down to its head.
Okay.
My attempt to.
All right.
Should I just use like
I added a whip into your inventory,
okay.
which is like basically for all intents and purposes what you've got
Heyo,
makeshift there.
20.
Yeah, you just like swing and.
Oh, by the way, I have advantage. So, he's glowing. For some reason, this creature's glowing after I hit him with that arrow.
Ooh.
So I get advantage until the end of this next turn.
Okay. Well, you can roll that attack again just to see what.
Because I'd love to see if I get a 20.
Oh!
That's what I wanted to see. I just wanted to see. And then I just did this. I did this to
How's it happen? How's it happen?
You just see
How's
this
it happen?
thing just shimmering. That's the sound, the timing it makes, and then it just lodges into this thing's head as it just goes limp.
Do you leave it lodged in there, like undoing the grappling hook?
No, you hear this. It sits there for a second.
You like pull it out.
And then I retract it.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. The spider just like you just like punched into like the chitinous armor around its brain and just punched right through it, and the thing just like keels over, like the legs are like quivering. One last gasp. And with that, like the others are able to like easily kind of pull you all up over the edge as well as Topsy. And the dwarves are like quickly like climbing down, like, we've got to get the fucking hell out of here.
In a simultaneous story, whenever the next opportunity makes sense, I want to light that fire up and set it down.
Okay. Yeah. So like as they're regrouping, like before you part, you start trying to spark.
Yeah.
Make a survival check.
Oh, okay. Let me just fart a little bit. Okay.
Oh, do it. Do it.
Oh,
That-
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
god! Oh my god!
Okay, this is to make up for getting stuck in a web.
You got anything else in there? You want to roll some other dice?
You
I hope it's the biggest goddamn fire you've ever seen.
You see like just huge portions of this thing start lighting up. I'm gonna use our friend the fire elemental again to represent the spreading fire.
And those are the smoke signals I'm sending to Ro.
Oh.
I
Oh,
think he can.
you
I
guys
think he
smell that?
speaks. I think he
smell it?
speaks those.
Oh, I do. I smell.
He has
I
an
s-
abstract sense of language.
I do. I smell the smoke. It tastes like danger.
Okay. So you can hear chaos and commotion coming out from all parts of the guard chamber now. Obviously, like again, about half the camp was probably sleeping in this moment. You would know that. And again, we'll cut back to those of you in like the main just generic guard tower where you're all congregating. I'm gonna get some water and we'll resume in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're good to keep
Kyle.
going.
Kyle,
When you
What?
I feel like when that bomb went off, like where are you in relation to an alien? Are
I'm
you
in the
close
main
to him?
He's in
stalactite.
the tower with the
I'm in the main
weapons.
stalactite right now with all the
Well,
weapons.
Oh yeah, I see you.
I have a shitload of weapons, and I'm ready
So-
to run.
I feel like the abstract language there was just a wisp of wind and like a subtle sound in the background, and you're just like, alien.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. Like I hear whisper wind, and I'm like, oh my god, my teammates. And then
Just
I
no.
Yep, I charge off at them with weapons as to their suiting.
Oh, I'm about to do something
David!
that's gonna take me 10 minutes. David had
How
no
I-
response to you.
What?
They would definitely. Zon
Yeah,
used
as you cut back to Oscar and Roe, Oscar finishes, and that's why cats' tongues are scratchy.
I understand now. Why have I never sat down to understand the words of your wisdom?
I feel like
don't-
this is a good time to just be like super meta about this and just say Ezric's starting a ritual.
Rituals take like 10 minutes though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, if we need to like get into a battle, I mean, if we're still on turn order, each turn is only 6 seconds.
Oh,
So,
holy shit.
if a minute goes by, that's 10 turns, right?
So
and then
I
a
can't
ritual is
do
going to be
that.
100 turns. Yeah.
I can't do that like right now.
Not if you want to
at all.
like
Look,
be
you could
effective
try
in the
it.
battle.
You
Like
can
if-
try it.
Yeah, if you just want to like do that and not be in the battle at all, then yeah.
Mm.
Chances
That
are
doesn't
everything's
sound
going to
like
be
fun.
over by the time you're done.
Uh-huh.
Why is Chick-fil-A closed?
But yeah.
It's
So
sad.
the other thing is that gem, super meta. That gem is in the next tower. It's not in this one.
Mm.
In the dark one. Here,
That's right.
some gem there. Eldith knows that her shit is in the tower that she's next to. And
Ezric could potentially know where everything is.
yeah, well, so can Oscar. If he's
Damn! Oscar
Really?
off.
Yeah. Well, I've already done the locate object the first time. That's how I got like, okay, we're
Right.
weapons here, gems over there, and then warhammers in the third one.
Mhm.
I think Fiddy actually split up our armor and weapons too, because if we're trying to find it in this room, we have to roll a percentile. I think it's possible that like if you didn't roll high enough or something, your shit's in the other tower.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a guess. Again, super meta.
well, I'm gonna try and find my stuff.
Oh yeah. I found my
It's a
shield.
good idea.
I mean, yeah, you and me, Oscar, are like, we're good to go. Like
Beyond
we're.
that, I'm endgame. I'm kitted
Yep.
out.
Yep.
I just need the change shirt.
Yep.
I'm the guy
We've
walking
got our
around
weapons.
with the pistol, just trying to shoot everything.
I'm just gonna try to deliver weapons, guys. That's what I want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could just run weapons
Yep.
to the rest of the crew.
I'm just gonna throw weapons at people.
Well,
Mm.
make sure you get yours at least. Or
I do.
ours.
I have 2 swords. I rolled for it. I have 2 swords. I'm
Yeah.
fucking lit right now.
Did
Like
anyone
I
else have like special, like their own signature weapon though? Like I can't recall.
no, I don't.
Okay,
I
it's
don't.
just regular shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what to search for, you guys.
Do you have special weapons?
I don't know. That's the thing.
What's your Like, what kind of weapons do you use? Use like a
when
crossbow.
I started, I had a crossbow, a dagger, and a sickle.
Crossbow.
Well,
okay, well
do you-
we can hand you a crossbow.
Yeah.
I can
Uh,
use it for now.
Dagger
Or-
for sure. Sickle? I don't know. Like I'll find one. I gotta find it.
It'd be cool if I could find something a little spicier.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, I agree.
Ah.
But what kind of spice you looking for?
I don't know.
Mace?
Like something that would enhance
Sickles?
my magic in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Sacrificial
kind of
daggers?
thing. Yeah, how would I do that?
I mean,
guess it's up to
mean-
me.
yeah, it's basically like what do me and what can we give to
Yeah. I wonder if I could find a breastplate in here.
It's gonna take a long time to load that up.
Well, yeah, but just
Just-
to have it.
Try and find a yellow, gold, whatever you want to call it. I don't want a white one. Green one's
Yel-
okay.
The
Blue
gold
one's
what?
great. Gold longbow.
Longbow. Okay.
Oh,
Gold. I just want it to be glowing gold, because that means that it's legendary.
okay.
Right. I'll get one.
From going by that.
Gold
I
longbow.
will find one.
We're gonna get you that thing.
If you guys see any like totems or like
Yeah. What else you want? What else you guys want? We'll just dig it up.
yeah, or like
This is the armor. This is everything they got.
like some cool boots that can make me run faster.
Boots?
I'd
Yeah,
say
what-
I'd say
no, no
gloves?
magic items.
quite a good amount of time was
Oh,
kind
shit,
of
for these
happening
guys.
in some of the other scenes. So for all intents and purposes, if you want to have that firelight happening, paired up with like you hauling ass to try to find the others, Nalian, we could kind of like pick up a
Yes.
scene where you're like back in the same tower for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes enough sense to me. I don't know.
I think that the other thing with this fire is that most of the jar.
What, sorry, you cut out?
I think it's good that this fire is here because the Drow are going to come here to see it, and then we're going to be at the armory getting stocked up by the time they get there. You know, we'll already be a couple steps ahead of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we should be there.
All right.
Fiddy, I'm looking for a breastplate.
Hey, look, here's the thing I'm looking for.
He's in the market.
Did I find it?
Dude, I'm looking. Look at that. I got over 50%.
51 even. you beat it by 1%.
Give me. You feel free to talk and plot in whatever way, shape, or form you want. I just need a couple of minutes to set some stuff.
Can I crawl up in there and start looking around? Maybe I find something cool.
You're
Yeah,
not even close.
Roll over 20%.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm not even close?
You're not with
He's-
us, are you?
No, he's
Yeah,
he's
he'd
just
be
the
there
floor-
right
I'm
now.
right there.
Yeah.
He has to
I'm
come
right there.
up.
Oh,
could you
he
just
is
go
right
upstairs?
there.
Do you just
I'm coming
roll
upstairs.
that.
I'm
Roll
Oh,
that shit.
go up
I'm
there.
peeking
Yeah,
my head. I'm
You
peeking my
gotta
head.
beat it to 20%.
get up
Okay.
there.
57.
Get up in it.
Right
25,
click on the
25.
D10.
25 or higher.
All right.
25.
Hey, oh,
You found it.
64.
All right. So
And that would just
Can
be
I-
for things that you had that
oh,
would be there, not necessarily just think of whatever
Alright, I
you
found-
want.
I found a dragon's tail that will allow me to craft the legendary item that will. Never mind.
Fiddy was like, yes.
Uh-huh.
The craft.
Uh-huh.
No, I just found my dagger,
Okay.
and then
It's a
this,
normal dagger.
and, yeah, and then this one. Yeah, I didn't find my crossbow.
Oh,
No, you
There-
found
there-
a crossbow.
There,
Come
there,
on.
yeah, there's like an untold number of crossbows just generally here.
Well, I barely found it.
I go to hand it to you, and then it falls and breaks. I'm like, oh shit, that was the only one.
this isn't what I wanted.
Or Ezric's just like, isn't there a better one?
Excuse me, waiter. This one's dirty. Can I get another one?
Or he knows that there's a
Oh.
better one, maybe.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
looking for platinum rings. Does anybody have any?
Look, we're naked. We're bound. Half of
Not
us
naked
are.
anymore. We found our shit.
Yeah, half of us are unbound. Half of us are still bound. Pretty much naked.
Okay. So Nalian, you set fire. You made your way back
Yes.
towards the group, or at least you started to. And the other prisoners were coming with you. And let's just fast forward a bit. So in the chaos of everything that's sort of going down right now, you're able to like quickly make your way there unhindered. But you can sense and see like numerous people creatures that are here in the outpost are kind of caught between like what they normally would be doing and all of the many distractions that are going on right now. Regardless, you're able to get back to your friends here. Um, Not before leaving behind. If we zoom out, like you felt like all around here, like in this area, like various numbers of Quaggoth and Drow were coming out. Some of them getting caught up in these like flying demonic attacks. Others like taking up arms. Others just scrambling about, currently uncommanded. Uh, and you all just start making a run for it before they can kind of make heads or tails about what you guys are doing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's.
We mind our step over the rickety one that
Yeah.
took out, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's pick up inside the ever crowded lower level of this guard tower.
There's weapons everywhere. They're just being thrown down from the above.
Okay. People are starting to arm themselves. So, in terms of finding what you're after, with all of the helping hands you have here, I'd say, yeah, 20% is a fair check. If it's something super generic and nothing like unique, like again, these drow have any number of swords, crossbows, etc., and suits of armor. That's no problem. Like you don't need to make a check for those things. It would only be something more specific, like your focus item or something personal that maybe
A
you had.
crystal per se.
Yes, I describe. I've pretty much touched this crystal. I've had it in my hands. I describe it in very good detail to Oscar.
Okay.
Oh, just so you know, if you're looking for the crystal, it's not here. I tried to find the item. It's in the priest's bust.
It's the same one? Yeah, it's one tower over.
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah, I grab a bow staff or a spear. I don't give a fuck. I just grab one of them, and I just run for the door.
I said, watch your step. It's about halfway down.
Okay, good to know.
Okay. Well, let's. Because a lot of things, and there's a lot to wrangle, but a lot of things are happening in parallel. Before you actually move, it'd be good to know your intent, right? So you grab whatever. They don't have. You would have found your quarterstaff if you were looking for that. If you want to make a roll for it, Zahn.
I already did.
Come on, Don.
Got a 41.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me drop that back in for you.
Oh wait,
You
I didn't
don't
roll
find
anything because I'm a dum-dum. Which one is it that I roll again?
Oh no!
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus!
No.
You found it, but you broke it in your hands.
I mean, what do you
Yep.
expect when you
God damn.
in a
You've been
row?
flying high, dude. You've
Yeah.
been flying real high.
That's what
When you
happens.
touch the
20
sun,
earlier? No.
you get burned.
Yeah.
Get Icarus, man.
What were you looking for,
Close to sun.
Nalian?
I don't know. A bow, a long bow.
They unfortunately do not have any longbows
sense.
here. They only
That
use
makes sense.
these hand crossbows or light crossbows. But
Gross.
they are in ample supply.
Crossbows are such a savage piece of
Mm.
equipment.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you say that, like I thrust one in the chest, like, here you go, buddy. Here's a crossbow, reliable, true. You can shoot anything with a crossbow.
Do you take the smaller or the larger of the two?
Me?
Yeah.
Smaller, larger, or small crossbow?
One's a hand crossbow, one's a light crossbow.
Ugh. A light one.
I
guess.
don't know
Hand
which one you're
hand
proficient
one.
with, but here you go. Here's
The smaller.
options. Here's some crossbows for you.
You take the hand crossbow?
Yeah, I guess so.
Good choice.
I hate
choice, hand
crossbows. He's
crossbow.
just Nyland's like, ugh.
Okay. All right. What's everyone else doing in this sort of parallel moment of rapid, frantic preparation?
I have my two swords. I'm gonna where am I? I'm gonna run up to here. I'm gonna start hacking at the bridge. I'm gonna start hacking at the ropes of the bridge with my swords.
Where are you running?
Straight ahead.
It's really hard to see.
Fiddy, if we had like a minute basically to gather our shit,
Yeah.
I will definitely don a chain shirt,
Okay.
Did you
like
say you're
fine-
hacking at the bridge?
a breastplate.
I want to cut the bridge.
All right. Roll a percentage die on
Why-
on the breastplate. Whew.
77.
Zon's already across the bridge before you
Alright.
hack it to death.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, I've been saying it for like past
We need the gem.
week.
Stop
I
hacking
need the
bridge.
fucking gem. And
Well,
you're
no,
cutting
that's
the
alright.
fucking
That's just the bridge. That's just the bridge. Don't worry about the bridge.
You're right, because it's the only way across.
No, we can get across other ways.
I'm already across the bridge before you hack it to death. I'll do it by myself. I said it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I told you I need that fucking gem. That's
I
the
know.
only way to get it.
We'll get the gem. Don't worry about it. We'll get the
In
gem.
this room. Well, Oscar.
Zon's already left.
Thank you, sir.
Oh man,
All right,
that's
I don it, and then I head out.
You know it wasn't the Drows. They probably salvaged it from someone that they killed. Potentially it was someone else's in here, but you find it and you start putting the thing on.
I say a prayer of thanks.
This sudden bat surge feels demonic as I'm sitting here waiting for Oscar to don his beautiful new armor. And I try to take a deep breath in and feel if there's a presence of a portal around.
You do sense something. So down
No.
below, you would have at this point. Let me just do this and a little bit of this. You would be aware of several very clear passageways in the lower part of the Underdark here, below the outposts. Let me just take a moment on the map here.
Oh,
And-
my fantasy grounds crashed.
Yeah, it's lagging for a moment. It's-
Oh, there we go. Phew.
So basically, if you look to the north, the northwest, and the southwest, there are several passageways. To the northeast one, you sense a strong planar presence, as if something has ripped through the veil, and you just in your guts know that it's related to these demons that are swarming through the Underdark right now.
Okay.
You feel like the northeast is maybe not your favorite option right now.
So you think
Oh.
like this way?
What's that? Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
up
section?
there. Yeah,
Gotta
yeah,
go
like.
this way.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyone else in the guard chamber still back in time, like a minute ago, doing anything, equipping anything, preparing anything?
How long have we been in this chamber?
You've probably been there for almost a minute when you kind of like hear like the confused Quaggoth horde near your prison cells. Some of you near the door to the eastern rope bridge, and you hear the four of them getting closer and closer. Like you can tell, unsupervised, they seem a bit lost and more bestial than ever. But basically there's a ticking clock. Like you feel like they're making their way towards you, and it'll be a mere moment, probably like one round at the end of this like 1 minute time bubble before they're like coming across that bridge towards you.
Time to go.
I mean, I know I said I was slashing at the bridge down below, but I see Zahn running across, and I take a change of heart. Almost as I'm coming down on the bridge, I'm like, "Huh!" And I stop.
Okay.
I dash across.
Anyone else?
We can't cut it. I need the stone.
I turn my attention toward the bridge to the east, and I go to hack that one down.
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And then I chase after Zahn, being mindful of this trap here.
Stool in hand,
I need-
Ezra follows behind Nalian.
Oh,
I
you're
need to
carrying
help. I need to help. And then I chase after him.
Yep.
I start
Oh, no.
Indiana Jonesing down the bridge to the east.
You're trying to work from the this side of the bridge.
Towards the right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut that bridge down.
Ezra
Bridge.
yells to Ro, What are you doing?
I'm gonna prevent them from coming towards us to take us over.
And
I must cut this bridge down.
Ezra kind of like catches himself because he realizes that he forgot that this was part of the plan, and he responds back to Ro, "Need a hand?"
Of course I do. Cut these ropes quickly.
And he runs
Sever
over to
them.
Ro and uses his dagger. He starts helping Ro with his dagger.
Okay.
We're just hacking at the ropes.
Yeah, you all start hacking and slashing. The others appear to be like just in the process of like re-equipping themselves, several steps behind. But you hear like Ront and Darendil, like Darendil's almost like kicking into these instincts that are, within this body that he's taking, and the two of them are kind of like looking out, like beasts looking at beasts. The orc and the prince look past you and see the amount of time it's taking for you to hack at the bridge, and they kind of like look at each other in a moment of camaraderie, I guess you could call it that, in the heat of this, and step past you onto the bridge. So
Oh no!
Keep at it. We'll hold them off. And
No!
like the Quaggath are like bounding towards you all, and they say like, just give us a shout when it's gonna give. And they're like close enough that they could like arguably like hold on or lunge back towards you.
Ro keeps sawing at the ropes.
They're kind of like moving forward to like hold the line here. Zahn and Oscar, with Nalian not too far behind, you all start making your way to the main tower.
It's in here. Is there a door here?
So basically,
Where am I?
if you can imagine, like you normally would go past this thing and underneath of it. It's a very almost like 45-degree incline rope bridge, and in here is like a recess where you can go around it and kind of come up and go up the sloped bridge into the side of the
right.
tower. So let me just pull up the side view.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh.
So you would be approaching like this guy
Yeah.
here. Okay. Give me a moment, please.
Inserting penis into your game.
Okay. So, as you make your way up, you go into the topmost part of the stalactite, like the portion, like again, this is a steep thing going up and up to almost like to the ceiling. And you enter this large chamber. The door seems partially ajar. You can see someone scurrying about frantically inside, and it is Asha and one other
Oh,
Drow. Uh,
she's
go
a big
ahead.
deal.
She's hungry for power.
She's
Wait.
she's the big deal. She's a baby.
We just we like there's no door. We just see her.
You
Inside?
see like the door. You see the door is partially ajar, and like you see
Oh.
her and like another Drow figure, kind of like moving about quickly.
My
Inside.
notes say
Sure.
she has tits.
She has what?
Exposed tits.
Ooh.
Look at the picture.
Pull up the picture.
It's true. It's
Push
true.
push the picture.
They're exposed.
Push them
Yeah.
together. Push them,
Hold on.
them pictures together.
She has exposed tits. That's what my notes say. I believe in my notes. Yep, there they are. There
Drop
they are.
him.
Buzzing.
Boom, boom, boom.
I don't know why I let out a little toot.
What do you do? What do you do? I mean, like, time is of the essence
Take her,
in this moment.
take
Yeah.
her captive. She's
Oscar,
a
Oscar.
prisoner.
Yeah.
Do you sense the gem in this room?
I'm not looking right now, but yeah, the gem is in there. It was in there.
Oscar, you pig.
What?
She
If
has
your eyes
exposed-
aren't on the gem, then
So you're-
exposed tits.
I imagine you three are still like on the bridge, the
gotta be
incline,
something
looking
there.
up at this partially ajar door, conversing.
Let's do it. And I want to like kick the door, and I'm gonna cast hold person.
Mm.
And I run in right behind him.
And then me as well.
And then I'll run in and put my chains around her throat.
You stay in your scene.
Saving throw. Wisdom saving throw. I don't know. What's the fucking?
Oh, it sounded like you're using your voice mod, but it was just you in a tense situation.
Oh, my
Yeah.
voice mod! I forgot. I have a voice mod.
Use it.
I'm
use
using
it.
All right. Do I sound normal right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about do I sound like a concert hall right now?
No.
Yes.
Not even close.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wait, you sound
yes.
the same.
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, you're right.
Well, that's fucking terrible. Then it doesn't work at
That
all.
was like, if you just kept like letting the person think that they're
Yeah, I'm not quick enough. Right
It
there.
was a little late.
No.
because like they'd still be like doing that little bit of a tweak to their voice. So.
No,
You-
terrible.
Who is leading the
wait,
charge? Zahn?
Oscar.
Oscar busted
Yeah,
in
I
the door and
seized the
Zahn's right
day
behind.
Okay.
because I saw her and I'm thinking she has to have it. Or it's the gem's still here, and then I think, oh, I'm wise, so I'm going to cast hold.
Okay.
I'm so
you-
smart.
15 wisdom save.
You come like kicking the door open, which is already ajar, so it's like you just come bursting through, and you immediately see this 10-foot high spider with like arms and swords in
Oh.
hand, and she's like scurrying about at the feet of this massive thing. But all three of you make a perception check.
Who's
Wait,
the all three?
This is a live spider?
A massive spider.
Uh oh.
You didn't see a whole lot.
You
You guys
in like the
fucked up.
flickering shadows, you all three of your characters with certainty know that this is a live giant spider with arms and weapons in hand.
Oh
You
my
see
God.
Asha tending to it. You attempt to cast hold person. So if you could, let's see, you should just have to drop the little token on her.
Oh. Let me do that.
Drop it
Yeah,
on
I
her.
also-
Drop it.
When we bust in, I say, put the spider down. We're here for the stones.
You bitch.
Here for your
Oh wait, no,
stones.
sorry, wrong person.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean,
I mean, it's a 10.
No. Yeah, do it on her. Just re-roll for that.
shit.
It's a 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an 8. It's an 8.
She
Oh,
held.
no.
You.
I point my iron rod at her and I say, "So right there."
You see her completely like paralyzed, and the male serving her reaches for a short sword and like quickly turns to you all. Prison swine, what have you done?
We're here
What
for
have
the
we
gem.
done? Give the boy
Wait,
the
what
gem.
did you say?
Where's the gem? Where is my gem? It is
Oh, shit.
mine.
He's not looking
Give
for
it
the
to me.
gem. He's for the rock, the stone. He's not trying to pump iron right now. He's looking to get his
I'm looking
rock.
for the gem. I need to find Arnold to lift these weights.
Let
Ro
me just
was
check.
kind of off guard.
Paralysis.
He doesn't realize that there's a mission.
A paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak. Interesting. The grunt, the male, like holding his place, is despite his gems.
No, my gem. It is mine.
Oh.
He you can tell he has no idea like what you're talking about, and he just like lunges forward and tries to slash at you.
Can
Yeah,
you mark
I
him
jump-
on the map?
I jump right in his face and I smack him. Like I meet him in the middle of combat and I obliterate his face.
Okay.
Ro wants to back that up. Wants to.
Dude, you're like a
No,
mile
you're not.
away.
You're
not
like a
even
mile away, brother.
I'm underneath.
No, you're
No,
not.
You're not.
Not,
You're in
not
a
even
different
close.
bridge.
What?
3
You're in a
bridges
whole
away.
you're in a whole different stalactite.
Perfect.
Oh shit! I am. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Question, why is that a +2?
It shouldn't be, because it's not adhering to your monkly ways. Hold
I
on.
hope your monthly ways are better.
Yeah. Good luck, bitch. I'm in a different stalactite.
Index. Index.
You dead.
Index. So that should have been a +5.
There's 11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it would be 11 total.
it'd be 11. It still wouldn't have hit. He like easily
that's fine.
dodges the blow. And he, with his
Wait.
short sword, yeah.
Are we in? Is this initiative?
It will be after this initial moment, yeah.
Because I would also unarmed strike. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
I also
mean,
think he should do that.
And you do. And you connect.
What's
and
that noise?
punch into the body. And he immediately like recoils, definitely put off a little bit by your attack, and slashes and misses. He says, Mistress, what's wrong with you? Use your spells.
Nice, Oscar.
And she does not speak or move.
Good work, Oscar.
Nalian, you may also take
Yes.
a turn equivalent of an action.
Oh.
Take her out.
Yes, I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to like get greedy, you know?
Yeah. Well, with her
wait.
paralyzed, you have advantage on your attack rolls.
Take her on a
and,
date.
and
Take it.
you,
Yeah.
you
Take
would
it. Dance
know
her.
if you were to be in melee range with
Yeah.
someone paralyzed,
Uh-huh.
any melee attack with advantage to hit would automatically be a critical.
Oh. Come on, Casey.
Say those words.
Come on,
again.
crit her.
Yeah.
The
than-
paralyzed condition makes a creature
Okay.
completely incapacitated, meaning that attack rolls against them have advantage, and melee attacks, if they hit, are automatic criticals.
Oh my God, crit
Okay.
her.
Yeah,
Is it
of course.
critical
Double damage.
Do
Yeah, I
it,
want her dead.
Casey. Come on.
So I definitely I'm trying to see how my archery does that work with crossbow. I don't think it does it? It's
No,
different.
it's
Okay,
a different.
cool.
Yeah, for
So what I'm
point
gonna
blank.
here's how I'm gonna do this. I fucking look at her in the goddamn stupid
Yeah.
fucking drow face.
Yeah, right in the drow face.
And I cast planar warrior. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. I don't
Oh,
know,
goodbye.
is that what I hit?
Goodbye.
For like, if I want
Uh,
to say, because basically it sounds like it's like a hunter's mark. It's a
Yeah,
bonus
yeah,
action. You
so-
choose one creature.
Planar warrior. I need to rewire that on yours. It should be like Hunter's Mark, where it's just a buff.
Okay,
That
I'll
way it
put
would
on
fold in like the bonus damage. Yeah.
there. And
But
I'm
we
gonna
can
fucking
work around that for now.
shoot this goddamn motherfucker.
Shoot him in the face.
You hit, so it will not be a critical on a ranged attack.
Oh.
Is what I was telling you earlier.
It's only melee.
Oh.
Oh,
Only
okay.
melee.
Okay, well then I'd rather stab this. Okay,
Yeah.
Is that alright if I stab her? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's kind of. No, you know what? I shot her.
Okay.
Because that's what I would have done.
Yeah. All right. You fire and hit.
And then plus the.
Plus the D8. You
Oh.
already rolled. If you want to,
3.
yeah, I'll take it. And she takes the 3 from the planar warrior. It's like there's like you almost see like the frozen form kind of like offset slightly from the force of the planar energy. Okay. For all intents and purposes, at all sites concurrently here, let's roll initiative.
Oh?
Okay, I'm gonna get above 10 here soon.
Oh.
Soon.
Oh, that too.
Hey guys, can we get it out of our systems yet, or? Ouch.
Did I roll that bad? Did that not go through?
The
I mean,
last,
it rolled bad.
the last good roll.
Oh, it rolled bad.
Oh
It
my
rolled bad.
God.
It rolled bad.
The last
Jesus.
good roll was Zon's
That's
turkey
not
punch.
good.
Not good.
I'm upset.
Uh,
Yep,
I had a
last
15.
good roll.
Eldith is frantically looking around for her warhammer and shield. Seems to find like one of them, but like looks panicked and just like climbs upstairs looking for the other. Topsy looks and finds and like seems enamored with a hand crossbow. Asha will you see her struggling after this forceful blow from Nalian, and she is trying to free herself. Let's see. So that is just stepping back for a moment. Sorry, one sec. New spells, more fun. Hold person for you is a DC 13, and it is a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
You can see her struggling, and the paralysis
Oh,
holds. And you can feel her fighting you, Oscar. You can feel her like battling your mind right now. She's trying to like break your will and free herself from this. And you see that crippled old martyr like in your mind saying, endure, and like you kind of hold your concentration, and she's still there, still paralyzed in this moment.
OP.
Let's see this guy.
I reached the Nalian's ears. You have to get her now. I can't hold it.
Oh.
I'm gonna go.
No, I want to help. I want to help. No, don't go.
The Drow trading blows with you, Zahn, quickly like finds like a moment of swiftness and swings once more, and you see him still like watching his mistress, like completely distraught, just takes a wild swing, and it's foolish. It's completely out of
Oh.
control, and in that moment you get a free attack of opportunity.
Oh shit! Do it up.
Kill this man.
All right, 12. Okay.
Like you turn and swing your staff and try to find him, and the both of you are just flailing about like a bunch of crazy people. One of the Quaggoth, you can see Ro and Ezric starts making its way towards the bridge.
Oh shit.
And he's just like climbing on like the ropes at the side, like almost coming around you like some alien like creature, and just climbing and scampering along the edge with ease, and like tries to like leap off towards Ront, and just comes down with like two big clawed arms, just like slashes at Ront, trying to take him down.
Oh
rolls
no.
a natural
Okay.
1, and Ron like
Oh!
just like you see him just like duck down, and as the thing comes leaping at him with claws, like Ront just like shoulders him over the edge, and he just goes flying
Oh,
off to the side,
goodbye. See
and
you,
you
buddy.
see him just like drop down and punch into like the depths of the spider webbing out of view.
Wow,
Come
one
on,
shot.
spiders
Yep.
need to be all over that.
Yep.
Mhm.
They're eating the shit out of him.
Sereth is like quickly re-equipping himself, and to the point like he almost looks identical to the other Drow guards. Like he's taking up his old comforts, donning armor as the dwarf did, finding his hand crossbow, and preparing himself. Prince Darendil like almost like looks at Ront, and you can see like a slight nod from behind the two of you that are watching and still hacking away at the ropes. Shushar sits in the middle of the room, amidst all of like the clutter, all of the weaponry, and just meditates on the floor.
Oh.
I know we will find a way, but I will not take part in this violence. And
What
those
a
of you
bitch.
still infested with the spores can like sense these thoughts coming forward from Shushar. You can hear other creatures moving about. Another Quaggoth in the four-man patrol comes forward, leaping this time towards the other Prince Darendil. He's like, "Rah!" And you can hear it like shouting something that you know is an insult to the other Quaggoth, the cursed Quaggoth who calls himself an elf. And this creature comes slashing down with two clawed hands at Prince Darendil. Another natural 1, and Prince Darendil, taking a page from Ront's book, like seems to drop like this almost forced upright stature that he holds, and like becomes the beast in the form that he is. He takes his two clawed arms and just, I am a prince, and he slashes the thing like across the throat, and like trails of blood just send him dropping down below. And
Oh
you
my
can
God.
in fact see like shimmering in the web, and the spiders seem a little preoccupied at the moment.
We're doing it.
Um,
We're doing it.
Fucking natural ones everywhere.
Yeah.
You have 3 nat 1s in a row, Fitty.
Jesus.
Nobody
yeah,
has
keep
rolled
going.
higher
We're due.
than a 10
We win.
since Zon turkey punched somebody.
In pure bestial rage, with no intellect backing up what clearly appears to be a bad decision at this point, another of the four Quaggoth comes leaping at Prince Darendil. Slashes and hits, connecting with the first claw, immediately like punching into his body, taking advantage of him like still throwing the other one down. He lands like on the shoulder, and Prince Darendil tries to react, but the Quaggoth just slashes at him again, completely raking him
Oh,
across the
no.
back for an additional 8 points of damage.
Oh my
And
God.
Darendil's just, I am not this creature, but I will be now. And he just like starts grappling with the fucking thing,
Oh.
and moves forward, like wrapping up with him in just like a
I like
visceral
Prince
battle.
Darendil.
Bupido looks and finds his hooked short spear and a light crossbow that looks a little bit different than the others. It has like an extended grip where you see him like cackle and smile as he slots in a cartridge, and you see him like clutch the repeating crossbow. He starts loading it before stepping towards the doorway where like the chaos is happening, and you get a sense that he's like trying to lean over the meditating monk and point it towards the door. The last of the four Quaggoth comes leaping towards Ront, again with like just this enraged clawed attack, and just again taking advantage of the situation, connects, doing 4 points of damage before slashing
no.
a second time and
Bye, Ront.
completely missing. Like Ront like
Oh.
grabs the other arm, and just like you see his tusks jutting forward here. Things are happening elsewhere on the map.
Other things happen.
Other things are happening. Nalian.
I heed Oscar's warning, and I I try to fucking I'm so tired of this shit. I'm actually I'm trying to shoot her again using planar warrior.
Did my moth communications make it to Nalian?
I don't even know what they were.
No.
Okay, never mind.
You guys are cut off at the moment.
No, my moth senses.
Oops! I see. I almost did the thing again.
My mom.
Yep.
Okay. So use this thing. I still had advantage, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
you still have advantage. Yep, she's still
Yep.
paralyzed. You can
And
see
then-
like Oscar struggling in front of you to like hold her.
So then I hit her with this, plus
Oh my
this.
god! Oh my god! Max damage!
Whoa.
Max
You
damage!
see like another bolt just like rack through her frozen body. And you can see like still distracted now. Like, Mistress!
Pincushion.
Jimjar,
I go in the room now.
okay.
and I try
sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. I just want to try and position myself so we're not all in one spot.
Don't we all think there's a giant ass spider in here? By the way.
You do,
Yeah, but you're grappling.
and as the battle continues now, like you notice that like when you asked about the gem, and this guy said something about like the spider. As you move in, as like you trade blows with this thing, you notice that the thing doesn't move, and it
Okay.
in fact appears to be just a giant statue to the goddess
Jesus.
Lolth.
Oh, okay. It's fakey. It's a fakey.
It's like in the lighting in here, it's staggeringly realistic.
Is there
Yeah.
like candlelight or like firelight? And that's
Yeah.
shadows
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff?
it's like flickering shadows. Like basically this whole chamber is covered with dark silken mats, and there's like a pale web strand pattern that's woven through all of them in this silvery thread. And the middle of the chamber is where this big spider is. And it's truly so lifelike that if this thing didn't start moving in here, like you would have still sworn it was real. But you see now that this is like just a wholly dedicated sculpture in the likeness of Lolth the Spider Queen. Which is why it's like a giant spider with like arms and swords and all kinds of appendages.
Oh, that's a thing.
They have
We
to
have her name
like
too.
that.
But
We
yeah,
have
like
her
the
name.
back half of the chamber where Asha was is more like an altar piled with like pillows and cushions, and you can see like there's flickering lights from candles and things in this room, and you see now Nalian at least, and probably Zahn, like as you like look past this guy, that sparkling in the eyes, the many eyes of the spider are these black polished gems, none of which are your gem, from what you can tell.
Okay.
But we're gonna take some.
Oh, Lolth. That's what I was looking for. Lolth is a spider goddess.
She is
Yeah.
the most worshipped deity of many
Yeah.
Drow. Yeah, you'd be very familiar with her, Ro. Although you have not seen this statue, you are not here. But
I
Jimjar
haven't.
is next to you, gathering up a war pick and a hand crossbow for himself, and trying to prepare. Ezric, actually, sorry, not quite you yet. I know
Yeah, I
this
rolled
is
a 1, didn't
a lot
I?
of fun going on here.
Hmm.
We come to Turvey, who is, with the assistance of his sister, also trying to like find his war pick, and other things are happening out here. And Zahn, you once more dodge a blow from this guy.
Could you add for my quarterstaff two-handed that it be 1d8 instead of a d6?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Thank you.
getting that +2.
There you go.
Thanks, buddy. I'm gonna attack that guy. Cool. Perfect.
Nailed it.
Hey, we
You
found
made a
Palador.
difference.
Perfect.
See, we knew he was gonna. We all have a little Palador in us.
Pew
too.
pew
Uh,
pew pew.
You managed to catch him with the back end of that attack.
Cool.
Oh.
Is he technically within 5 feet? Is Oscar within 5 feet of him? I guess he's not engaging him. So
No, and Oscar's like deep in concentration right now
Okay.
as well.
yeah, that's all I do.
Oscar.
With that concentration and everything,
Hmm.
and I see the danger Zahn is in. He keeps missing because this guy's so good. I'm gonna stretch out my other hand, and I'm gonna toll the dead on Drow's soft tunic.
Oh, the
Okay.
soft tunic.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fails.
Oh.
And you see him like with one last glance at his mistress, like and he just like his eyes go wide before he just slumps and drops, like kind of writhing in his own death throes at your feet. So I kind of like imagine like Zahn just as like a swing and a miss, like a follow up, boom, and then before you know it, like Oscar's like, like towards him, and you just see him just drops dead.
I move into the room just a little bit.
Death told.
Ro, make a normal weapon attack. DC's quite low here. Just looking for a 10. Just looking for a 10. This
Well,
stuff
I'm-
is pretty well crafted when it's not in ill repair.
How do
You're
I
just
how
hacking-
do I
Just roll it
aim
normally. You don't have to drop it on anyone.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you like in the time that's passed, like you're hacking and just finding like all of the weak spots in the rope that tethers this bridge this side here.
Yeah.
Like you're holding it, you've got it enough, like you feel like you could take one more hack and like your side of the bridge would sort of like drop and dip. You're cutting it?
I'm cutting it.
Okay. There is like a poof as like one side of the bridge, now only pinned by three corners, like completely sags. Ront has to make a dexterity saving throw.
No, Ront.
Goodbye,
and
Ron.
fails miserably.
Goodbye, Ron. I'm sorry.
Ront, like still gripping the clawed arm of the Quaggoth, like starts sliding and falling. The Quaggoth,
no.
the Quaggoth makes a strength check to hold on to the
Yeah,
bridge.
come on. Come on, you bitch.
Can Ezric make a reaction to that?
Oh my god!
Not quite yet.
No.
The Quaggoth like holds on, and
He
as
holds on
as
hard.
Ront is like losing his grip and falling away, the Quaggoth grabs him by the throat and is holding him there. So you've got like draped on like one 45-degree angle, like the Quaggoth holding Ront over the edge of the like the broken half of the bridge, and he's just holding on to like the ropes here.
Oh god.
Ro, you could still move if you wanted to.
Rose gonna
Fucking save him.
no, I can't. I can't save him. He's done. He's done so. I'm gonna move up towards Ezric. I'm moving up towards Ezric.
Okay. I mean, what you like Ezric's, I imagine, like as he said, was still also hacking away. You can get about that close before.
I hold my scimitar above the ropes by Ezric.
Okay.
Like in
Alright,
a
just
threatening
in preparation. sort of?
yeah, just threateningly.
Ront, like being choked out right now, and holding here, makes his own strength check.
Come on, you bitch.
And he,
Oh my god.
Strong man.
He's strong. He's a strong guy.
it's opposed in this case by the same Quaggoth, and he like takes like the hand that's just holding him by the throat, and he's just dangling there with like nothing else, and he grabs onto the Quaggoth and starts climbing onto him, and like just does like a reverse grapple, and is just on his back trying to beat on him
Oh my
with
God.
his arm. And like he's doing nothing, like he's still like winded and woozy and like just crawling on the thing. Ezric, you two are hacking at the remaining ropes.
Ezric sees the corner that Ro slashed at give way, and the reaction that Ront has and the Quaggoth, and Ezric starts to mutter to
Oh my
himself and looks towards the Quaggoth, and he also sees Ro above him with the scimitar, so he knows Rose intention,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of they swap places, and I cast Hex on. I think I'm doing this right on this guy.
On
Pierced left knee.
Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Left knee.
So Hex, yeah, let me look at this real quick. We haven't used this yet in action. So basically, you can cast a curse upon that creature. It's a concentration spell, and until that spell ends, you just automatically do extra necrotic damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack.
Yep.
And also, you choose one ability when you cast a spell, and that target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability. So, like, you could say Strength in this case, which would be like grappling, fighting, or like climbing. So you also that's part of the curse.
Okay, so can I choose like in what influences Witch Bolt? Is that a
what ability check would that be? Witch
Yeah.
Bolt is
What?
not. It's a spell attack. It's not a saving throw.
Whoops, I didn't mean to click that.
No, I clicked it just to check.
Oh.
So nothing really affects that.
Okay.
Wait, I mean, what's your gut reaction? You can curse this thing and affect one of its attributes, essentially.
Yeah, so I want to affect its strength.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and this is just apparently an automatic spell. You can see him, you can curse him.
Oh.
You cast your hex upon him, losing one of your spell slots in the process, and that's only a bonus action. So you technically still have.
You can attack
you
the
can't
bridge.
you can't cast 2 spells in a turn, but you can still take an attack action and a move action.
Okay.
You can attack it something.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna run at the Quaggoth.
Oh my god!
And but I'm the run is with the intention of just putting force into my dagger, and I'm gonna stab the Quaggoth.
Okay.
And then jump back to the doorway.
And because the Quaggoth and Ront are very much restraining each other in this moment, you would have advantage on the attack, and
shit!
he wouldn't be able to have an attack of opportunity against you.
Fly, you fool.
Yep, exactly.
So go for it.
I
only
wait,
have over the edge.
Sorry, did you pick up like a dagger or something? Because right now,
I
I see
did.
you as just unarmed. Okay, I'll
And
throw that on
someone
there.
gave me a crossbow too. I'm pretty sure because there were a plethora of crossbows.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah.
thing.
That's fine. 1 second. Let me just do that.
Holy shit! Don't fuck this up.
I'm gonna murder this guy, or at least send him over the edge.
Well, this bridge is coming down.
I know, but I'm backing up immediately after I do this.
Yep.
Okay. You should have dagger and crossbow on there. So you
Oh,
have
no.
advantage. You can
Do it again. Do it again.
Try once more. You saw that you would miss.
Better than the fort. Oh my god!
And like I just imagine you like you're kind of like panicked. You're freaked out a little bit. These 2 hulking beasts are like hanging on to a bridge, battling, and like even your footing, like again, like all on this angle is just like slumped and falling. So like you're slashing wildly at this guy, but you're unable to connect. And you say you back to the landing, to safety.
Back to the landing. Yep.
Okay. Your part of the bridge is still intact, still helping to hold up the others who are kind of holding the line here. This guy's doing things, and we come back to this guy who's going that way.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
You see Eldith kind of like stepping out, and she's sort of keeping watch, and like she's like, more coming. And she's just kind of like holding the line on the bridge to the west here. Topsy and Turby like finish sort of preparing themselves and start also heading in that general direction. Asha, with one last attempt, you can feel her trying to force herself free. from this hold you have in her mind,
Oh.
and you manage to just keep her frozen. And like inside your head right now, Oscar, you can see, like, you almost feel like the statue of Lolth is kind of like squirming and moving, and you feel Asha in your mind. She's like, "You will pay for this." And she's not audibly speaking, but you can kind of feel some sort of connection through the magic that you have that's binding her. But she is not moving.
Hold. I can't hold it.
No, not Loaf. No.
Longer.
Bear with me for
soft
a
turning
moment.
down.
This guy is not doing so good. This guy's over here. Sareth is finished arming himself. He's just finished donning like the dark chainmail armor of the Drow guards. Has his weapons at the ready, and is also kind of like looking at the door and says, "What's the plan? The way to the lift isn't looking good." And he's like looking past the dwarf, and there's just like a hum of activity out to the west there. Prince Darendil, having taken a few blows and kind of like reverting into this more primal bestial form of this body that he wears, slashes back at the Quaggoth, doing 7 points of damage before slashing a second time, and rolls a natural 1. And this the thing on top of him just like pounds him to the ground and gets a free attack. Pinning.
Goodbye, Prince Darendil.
No,
Pinning-
we need him.
Pinning. And he rolls a 1, and the two of them roll off the
they
side
slap
of
fight
the
each
bridge. Both of them trying to, like, you know, again, like they're just like slashing wildly at each other, and like they just sort of split apart and flail and fall.
You bitch!
And both try to grab and save. The Quaggoth drops,
Oh my
screaming
god!
below.
Come on, Darendil, you fuck.
And
Come on, you can do it.
all right, Prince Darendil.
Darendil, you can do it. Beat it too.
Rolls an 8 and also falls down below.
No. Bye, Darendil.
no.
Bye.
He might have landed in the water. Maybe.
No,
Well,
you
there's
landed in
webbing.
spider
There's
webs,
webbing
the
all
webs,
beneath
yeah.
you. Yeah.
He's dead. He's dead.
There's like a super spider down there.
Shushar
Yeah.
continues to meditate.
Well, I wouldn't want. He's one of the guys you don't.
That
Oh,
dude's,
okay, so you're cutting out.
yeah.
Yeah, put this in my mouth again.
Threshold's too
Dude,
low.
check your mouth.
Oh yeah.
What?
You're in
Watch your
there.
That dude's fucked. He's dead.
We need him.
Darendil?
Well, not
Yeah.
anymore. Not anymore. We don't.
How can we become rulers of a kingdom if we can't overthrow his throne?
Look,
Pupidu,
we're the overthrowers of the throne now.
Pupidu kind of moves in with that light repeating crossbow, and tries to fire a shot that would brush just past you.
Oh.
That was not
Wow.
not what we were
Whoa.
after.
Whoa.
But
Hell of a
I
shot.
feel
would be
around.
like.
Oh
he
my
fires. He fires and hits. Don't do it again.
Oh my god. Oh.
I want that weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's casting
kill
a
him
How
light
do I
spell.
get that? I
Casting
take
a light
it
spell.
from him.
Still grappling frantically with like Ront and like holding on. The Quaggoth just like trying to shake Ront free and like throw him down below at this point. He's given up on ripping Ront's throat out. And the two of them again like make opposing strength checks.
Oh, come on, Ront.
Does my hex
Nice.
influence this?
Nice.
Ront just grips tighter and like is clutching onto this guy like a backpack and like is continuing to try to like beat on him. Like this creature is completely unable to throw Ront off of him. These guys are running that way and that way. Nailian,
That's me.
that's you.
Yep. Yep.
did it.
You see the drow drop
did it.
between Zahn and Oscar, and the priestess still struggles alone. It's at this time, like, sort of taking in your surroundings here, that you notice that, like you've seen in the other outpost, you appear to be at the top level, and
Yeah.
near the pillows where she sits is an open space and a hatch that I guess goes down below.
Good. And is there a window that I can see? We have created. Is it getting hot in here or what?
Like a window? What do you mean? Oh, like it's. There's no windows in here.
No windows. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there
Windows
was, like, any
95, baby.
portholes.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna do this thing where I do that. I don't. Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
And then because I was also just gonna use planar
Take it.
thing on
Which
her butt
part of her body were you aiming at?
and all these
Take
parts.
All the
Yes. All the
You
bolts.
just see like almost like a crucified in the air, still suspended by the spell from Oscar. You just see bolt after bolt kind of like push and force her body around, but it's unpinned and unmoving, and there's just blood kind of like dripping down around her robes.
You guys are
so there-
insane.
You said there were some like shiny things in here.
Yeah.
I want the
Uh,
shiny things.
You see two things of note right now.
Mhm.
One's a shiny thing.
One would be the 8 eyes of the spider, which in fact look to be like some sort of polished black stone. And then the other would be near, like almost just below her frozen body, is an opening, a clearing near the ring of pillows, right around here.
Okay.
That appears to be like another one of these Zerkwood hatches that goes down into a lower level of the chamber.
It's good. It's good. Well, I let Zahn know what I see,
That's great.
and then I walk over to wherever those 8 eyeballs from the spider are.
Yeah.
And I pluck them. I start to touch them
Pluck
with whatever
the
time I
eye.
have left, and I'm with the intent of seeing if there's anything there before I pull them. Like if they feel like I'll trigger something, or if it's
You can make an
Sarah,
insight check.
Yeah. Okay. Where it is. Okay, skills, insight. Rolling down.
Okay. You approach this thing, and it's like with your knowledge of the Drow being a favorite enemy of yours. You approach this holy shrine to Lolth that these priestesses were tending to, and like you put your hand upon the stones, and for a moment it feels like a great idea, like 8 beautiful stones, and as you touch the thing, there's this like unnerving sense that washes over you.
Oh god, gross.
And like you just, everything about your fear of spiders and
Yeah, I don't
everything
like
about
it.
this situation, it just doesn't feel right.
Oh,
Not
gross.
in
Yeah,
the
fuck those
least.
stones. Oh, no, thank you. I say bad stone. I say bad stones as I continue. As I say, don't follow me.
Jim Jar back with Ezric and Ro here and the other prisoners showing. Says, we might need another way down. I don't know how you feel about the webs or the falls, but Jorlin mentioned those as less desirable but feasible ways down, yeah? He's just he's talking at Ezric and Ro. You can do like a brief reply.
Ro looks
Banter.
back and says, "No man's left behind."
Right. Okay.
That's what he yells. And he hopes that Ezra hears it.
Fuck, I was muted. Shit.
What'd you
He
say?
didn't hear it.
Bro, let's just cut this bridge and we can move on to the next one and do the same, but use it as a ladder down.
I get it. Let's cut this bridge, and he charges the Quaggoth, pierce the left knee.
All right. That's your intention. We'll get to your turn here in a minute. The other guys are just doing their thing. That's all fine. Zahn.
Zahn runs up to Asha. Is she still alive?
Yeah,
I mean, I know
you
she's
can
knocked out,
imagine. You
but-
can imagine like she's like in her like death saving throw mode. You know, she's in that like
Oh, no.
moment. She's in that moment where she's like, "I'm done for." You know, and
Can
you can.
can she respond?
Yeah.
to
Assume
questions?
like if you run over to her like Oscar, you can see what he's doing. You know that you would have to release the spell to allow her to speak. You can see her just like frozen in like
Okay.
just rage on her like just burned into her face, but she's got nothing left after that barrage.
I would just yell, Oscar, drop the spell as I'm like, running.
Do the thing!
Okay.
What?
She's dead. Drop the spell.
I mean, if she's dead, doesn't the spell just like disappear?
Oscar!
Well, she's saving throw. She's
if
in
she's
her
yeah.
saving
dead,
throw.
then yeah.
I
whatever.
see.
She needs to talk to me.
I'd like to
It's
think
my
that you would, even if she did die or was unconscious, you would, if you were still holding the spell, like her body would still be paralyzed until you let it go.
Sick. I'm gonna take mental note.
Oh my god, dudes!
You drop it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Zahn, like you move in near the hatch and like make this request, and as Oscar drops it, like I imagine you just kind of catch the
Yeah,
body.
yeah. I kind of
and
catch
you've
her and
got
I set her
in your
down.
Arms.
And I say, Asha, where did Ilvara take my stones? My gem. I need it.
Such a personal question.
They're in her purse.
Yeah.
You can't hear that. No
They're
paper
in a
banter.
jar.
You can't hear it.
Okay.
You got it. Stones in a jar.
She's looking up at you, and she says, "You fucking." And you can see her kind of like weighing her options right now, and there's like almost like a last little smirk on her face of deceit and treachery.
Yeah, I just punch her in the face and I just let her.
What? You
And I-
punch her in the face.
Like I see it and I'm just like
What's
I don't
that
have
for? As I was
I don't have time for this, and
This
I
is
just
pretty
I do the
violent.
thing where I just like hit her right in the nose
Oh my
and
God!
just drive her nose up into her skull and just let her die and drop
Did you
down.
kill her? You killed her.
Fuck
I don't
her.
like
She's
Drow
a piece of
either,
shit.
but
She did.
you all right, man? Son, you're gonna be okay. Gotta get this
yeah, if that's what you're doing, you basically just coup de grace her dying
face
body.
off.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she just slumps over like adjacent to the hatch and the pillows, just
Oh my god.
dead and splayed out. That, for all intents and purposes, you can just consider like a bonus action, considering her state.
Okay, and then I'll just slowly open the hatch and look down and see what I see.
You slowly open the hatch, and give me a moment. Once more, there's a rope ladder leading down from the shrine room into this chamber, and it's pretty clear from the adornments in here that this is the private chambers of Mistress Ilvara. You quickly look around, make a perception check.
Cool.
Oh.
Dude, the Pounder is strong with us tonight.
I'm gonna put your own fate in your hands here.
Yeah, I know.
I need you to roll a d6.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
You're looking for a 3 to a 6. You look down in the room, and though the vision's not great, and like there's still like just a rage in your face right now, you find the room to be empty,
Okay, and then I drop down.
and you're feeling really glad that you didn't roll a 1 or a 2. You drop down to a lower level, and you climb down the rope ladder. Again, like just draped with curtains, sort of spun out of the spider web. You see like a low platform, which is like a very fancy bed covered with cushions and pillows. And you see to the side of it a small table and 2 chairs. Again, like this, her own smaller form of a shrine to Lolth sits there, and draped with a white cloth over top black stained zirkwood is a very ornate chest at the foot of the bed that immediately draws your attention.
Okay, I will go there, but I will check it for traps. And despite my extreme desire to get into that cage or that chest, I remember what Jim Jar was teaching me, and I like examine it, and I get ready to like pick a lock.
Okay. All right. So between all that, I imagine you're at the chest, kind of preparing yourself.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Oscar, what are you doing?
Oh wow.
Oscar, he
Shocked.
went into a hole up here.
I'm shocked. He just killed her.
He punched her in the face.
The last you heard was like, "Release her!" and he just shouts at her, and then just.
I look around. I do a detect magic. No, I'm not. Never mind. You know what? I'm just gonna guard the door. Just gonna guard the door.
You're gonna
and
guard
ready
the
in
door?
action to toll the dead if someone like walks in.
You move towards the door, and you see one of the like more grunt like drow like basically like at the foot of the very steep inclined ladder that comes up to the top of this stalactite tower, and you see him like looking, hand at the blade, looking up, and he sees you, and he like unsheaths his sword.
I just.
He fails, and this is just the lower damage, yeah. And you just see him like just freeze there, like writhing in pain.
Then I run back.
I'm back.
Alien, I say they're coming. They're coming.
Hello.
Drow.
Hi. I totally heard everything you guys just said.
Didn't matter. You're back in your scene. You saw like the Quaggoth like hanging off the bridge that's slumping down towards the nest. Ront is still lashed onto his back, trying to beat on him and free himself. What are you doing?
Ro uncharacteristically feels like he's responsible for Ront for some reason, and he charges at the Quaggoth, and he uses his scimitar on him. Oh my Jesus!
No!
Oh
What's up
my
with the ones?
God!
You broke it.
You go running over the fairly treacherous, dilapidated bridge that you caused.
It's moving! It's moving! I can't handle it.
Your footing is not firm as you step on this, and you start to like slide while slashing your scimitar at the guts of the beast. I need you. No. You need to make a dexterity saving throw right now.
Oh my God! A dex throw. All right. Oh, I'm dragging the whole window. There we go.
I done that before.
Uh,
First things first.
You go like just where so. If you can picture this, this beast is like holding on to like the handrail ropes on one side, basically with his face just above like the foot level, holding on with Ront on top of him. You go slashing at the two of them, slip and fall, and drop your short sword, and in the last moment with your offhand manage to grab on to. So actually Ront is like on this side, and you are hanging off the side with your scimitar in one hand and spider silk like fucking side netting in the other, just dangling here off the side of the bridge. Down below, you can see two giant spiders moving towards some of the Quaggoth. You can't make out Prince Darendil from the other three that are down here in this moment.
God.
They're about 20 feet down from you right now.
I start to whistle. And like to everyone else it sounds like I'm going, but to one particular person way far away it sounds like, oh my God, there's fucking two spiders, it's gonna fucking kill me.
If only they could hear you. Ront still trying to half hold on for dear life and like elbow this guy in the head, or this creature is just finding his efforts fruitless. Ezric, you see all of this unfolding in front of you. What are you doing?
Ezric walks up to Ro and questions, "Why are you making flute noises?" And he reaches out his hand and pulls Ro back up to safety.
Rogue keeps whistling, but he grabs the hand and he gets pulled up, but he keeps whistling.
Ezric, with advantage. Actually, no, sorry, it'd be canceled out by this whole fucking bridge situation that you've caused. With normal mode, make an athletics check to try to pull him up.
Save me!
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good for a dead guy.
Yeah. It takes like all of your effort. You kind of have to like grab the far side of you and like just like pull him up, and then with your combined efforts, you manage to get him back on the bridge.
But
Now
fucking-
you are
Thank you,
still
brother.
he's still holding on to you because you are still on like the fucked up part of the bridge here. Like this is all not good. Like that whole support is gone.
I never doubted you, even
It's
for
like
a
trying
second.
you're like trying to stand in a hammock and fight on it. Essentially.
Pet could
so-
do it.
That is your action. You could still move, Ezric, if you wanted to, or if you have a bonus action. you
And
could use it.
since I am still holding on to Ro, would Ro come with me?
If you wanted to like do a very small partial move, you could drag him. Yeah.
Okay, I drag him just inside the
Okay.
doorway.
Just onto the landing.
Yeah.
I'm into it. All right.
The true fucking.
You hear Eldith clashing with another Quaggoth, and it's going okay for her, from what you can hear.
Where is that girl? Oh, I see her.
She returns
Southwest.
now with her warhammer she spoke so strongly about. Rolls a natural 20 and smashes into this fucking Quaggoth and takes her hammer out of its gut and pulls back and swings again.
Worth it.
I love
And
that when she gets
misses.
Goodbye.
Oh no, hubris.
Topsy, seeming like just just beyond bored at this point, like just goes charging in with her little war pick.
Oh no.
And tries to swing at this thing, taking advantage of the situation, and connects, doing a good bit of 6 damage, but this thing is just holding strong as she swings a second time, connecting again.
Whoa.
For another 7 points of damage.
Whoa!
And
Damn.
the two ladies are beating down on this fucking thing.
If you want to
Asha-
call it that.
Yeah. It's down here.
She has a beard. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Fair
she
enough,
has a
fair
beard.
enough.
She has a beard. She's more of a man than I am. I'm an elf.
Oscar, you can hear like a sound as like you get the sense that other creatures are coming your way. Sarith takes the hand crossbow, tries to line up a shot through the ladies, and hits, doing 7 points of damage, and starts reloading the crossbow immediately. Shushar is still meditating. You can
I
hear.
love that he's in the center of the room.
It's probably hard to hear past the immediate wave of chaos coming towards you, Oscar and Nalian, up here at the entry level to this stalactite. But you can hear like distant screams, and every now and then, occasionally, like the swarm that you heard when you were spelunking off the side for the supplies. You can hear it still like, and just like people screaming all over the place.
Yeah. Is it my
Yeah.
turn?
No, sorry, it's just sort
Okay.
of a little check-in.
Just trying to scare me a little bit because it's
yeah,
working.
yeah, just a little bit. You see the Drow, Oscar, like shake free of whatever you did to him, and he comes running up the stairs with a crossbow pointed, and like looks in the room and sees the two of you around
Oh,
the base
shit,
of this
you didn't
huge
shut
statue
the
to loaf.
door.
And he fires the crossbow, like kind of like points at 1, 2, and like settles on Oscar
no.
before firing,
Oh no.
and hits.
Oh no, Oscar!
Oscar!
Your old bones.
It's too late.
Oh
It's too late.
no!
You take 3 points
Too
of
late,
damage, and I need you to make
That's
a
like
Constitution
30.
saving throw.
To for like concentration.
Constitution saving throw. For poison.
Mm.
no!
But you have advantage.
You're poisoned.
Oh, that's right. 'cause
He
I'm a
did
dwarf.
have art.
Because you're a
Oh,
dwarf.
that's
Because you're a dwarf.
Oh.
Do you have a
Come
new
on, roll
updated?
higher. No! Oscar, you bitch! You're poisoned.
Poisoned.
What about your armor?
No!
Oh yeah, no, it put me at the 17, and he rolled 17.
So if
Okay.
if you fail by 5 or more on a DC 13, which you have,
You're double poisoned.
Nalian, you see Oscar like take this crossbow bolt, and like he just starts to like his eyes start to roll back in his head.
No.
Oh no!
And he just like immediately, and you've seen this. This is Drow sleeping poison.
He's
he
so
immediately
old.
just like drops to the ground unconscious next to you, snoring and bleeding a little bit from the wound.
Okay. Okay.
I fart.
The Drow now looks to you with a sincere smile.
Oh.
That pizza.
Oh, I
was so
fucking
good.
I can't wait to watch that goddamn smile. This stupid.
Bupido moves and repositions again at the Quaggoth being grappled by Ront, and fires his crossbow again. Holy fuck, bury your ears, because I can't help it right now and I'm not going to fix it. And he misses.
You won a brand new car.
That very same Quaggoth like immediately tries to once more like grab with his claws into Ront and like just flip him off, and they battle it out with their strength checks. And at this point, like he grabs Ront and just hurls him over the bridge, and into the webbing below. You just hear like, and he goes flying down. In doing so, he must make one last dexterity save, the stupid motherfucker, and fails.
Oh
and
my
he
God.
goes
Oh, no.
tumbling down below with him.
No. Wrong.
Well, that's good.
This is like that mission in Mass
Alien.
Effect, but I did really well
Yeah.
in that one. I think most of my
This is like when we fought
Alien,
that type.
Oscar, like you've got a Drow reloading a crossbow
Yes.
with more of these
So what I
bolts.
because I'm right next to that chair, right? The pillow.
Mhm. Yeah.
I fucking chuck Oscar's body in there.
Like the trap door.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
How
throwing
does the-
Oscar into the
Uh,
I'm going
He's a heavy, well armored dwarf. I need you to make an athletics check.
Okay. And
Come on, Gizzy, you can
just
do
out of
this.
curiosity, with this when I pull it down, how does it shut? How does it lock?
Like it opens upward.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it-
So it's like
is it
it's just like a hatch, like almost like a treehouse kind of like latch door. There's no lock on this side that you see.
What about the underside?
Uh,
Because that's the one side
You-
that's exposed.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's open and it's exposed. You see on the underside, like, bolted in, like, a metal ring or iron that looks like it's meant to be locked from underneath.
Yep. Okay. I'm bringing it with me.
Okay.
My
So
athletics
you're
check.
gonna try to go down with him, like, into the trapdoor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First,
Alright.
but for flavor, I was gonna throw.
You're gonna do what? You cut out.
I was gonna. Sorry for flavor. I was gonna literally lump his body down and then get him down after him.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, in any of these scenarios, you would have to make a athletics check. If that's all you're trying to do on your turn, you
Yeah.
can do it with advantage. And
Okay.
just a
Yeah, that's
little
pretty much all I'm
friendly
trying to do.
reminder.
Well, and
The
lock
gods-
the latch if I can.
The gods have smiled upon Nalian and Oscar at some time in
I
the distant
I know.
past. Okay.
I got my eyeball on that right now
Yeah, all right.
because it may need to happen.
Yeah, so if all you're doing is trying to like just fucking make for the hatch and bring his body with you, you can make an athletics check with advantage. Okay.
Oh, thank Christ.
Holy shit!
Flavor it up however you want, buddy.
Okay, I thump him in like a sack of flour, and then as I go in, I hold on to the top latch, and then I twist it, and then you hear the locks key into place, and then I drop down
Oh.
Okay.
to be with Zahn and Oscar.
You
Well-
like Zahn.
Shit up there.
You just hear like a boom as Oscar's body just drops onto the pillows below, bracing the fall a bit. Nalian is just sort of like swooping down below him, holding on to the hatch. You can fit the metal piece around where it would lock, but you do not see the padlock anywhere
Okay.
immediately. It's probably in the room down here.
All right. Well, I definitely latch the part.
Okay. And for all intents and purposes, we'll just assume that you guys are on the second level here. And
Toss me unlocked. I'm down there.
yeah, you can have a quick verbal exchange with Zahn in this moment if you like.
Okay. That's it.
All right,
As
all right.
I'm gonna hang here until then.
Okay.
It'd suck if one of these guys opened it and I'm still hanging on like, hey.
You see Jim Jar move past Turvey next to Sereth with a hand crossbow, and he also fires at the Quaggoth on the bridge, hitting and doing max damage, but the thing is still
Whoa.
standing. And you can see, like, with unbelievable quickness almost, he reloads the hand crossbow and
Does he
fires
get
a second
sneak
time.
attack? Because
Actually, holy shit.
targets within 5 feet?
He would. And oops, I put it on the wrong guy. I'm just gonna roll it manually. He does an extra 5 points of damage to the Quaggoth on the bridge with the sneak attack bonus. And the Quaggoth, like you see it, like the bolt's just like punched into its jugular. It's like, and it just like falls down, not too far from the damaged wood portion of the bridge, but it's just laying there, dead and dead and dying essentially. And he starts reloading and does in fact fire another shot past him. There's a distant Quaggoth just past the middle of the bridge that's caught his eye. And he fires again, hitting for a 4 points of damage. We go to this guy. It's over here. Turvey is also using a hand crossbow. Fires and misses, and is not as quick, but holds there. This guy's going there. Zahn, you are in the middle level, you feel the stalactite. You also see another trapdoor that goes down below. I'd like you to make a perception check.
Pretty standard. Pretty good.
You can hear muffled sounds from down below, and given the location, you get a feeling that beneath that trap door is a goddamn good chance is Mistress Ilvara and her lover. From the sounds you're
shit.
picking up.
We're in a lovely spot right now, gentlemen.
This is
Time
called
for us to do fuck.
being between a rock and a hard place. That's where we are right now.
Dude, we're like in the middle of an accordion.
Okay, so upon hearing Oscar slam into the ground and hearing Nalian be like, "I need the lock," Zahn, who's like about to pop open the chest, like, "Ah, shit," and jumps up and like looks around the room, looks at the desk, looks at for anything that could technically fit on a lock, any kind of anything, whether
You
it's piece of metal that could go through the latch just to hold it in place so they can't.
Don't you have an arrow on you?
you Yeah, yeah. You look around and like in that sort of circular slot, the best thing you can take is probably one of like these reinforced crossbow. Actually, the crossbow bolt sticking out of Oscar, and punched into his armor. Like you look around frantically and you find nothing, and then all of a sudden, just jutting out from his armor, you see this thing that looks almost just the right size to just like slot in between that circular fitting.
Useful.
I run over,
Sticky man on it.
I wrap my hand around it, and I take a deep breath, and I'm sorry, Oscar. I will help you in just a second. And I
Just pull
yank it out, and then in the same motion, I turn and I yell, "Nalian!" And I just whoosh, and I
Roll
toss
a
it
d4
right,
for me.
not at him. I'm
No,
tossing
I
it
know. Roll a
away.
d4.
My hands are ready to catch
Roll the d4. Roll it.
Uh,
Okay, halfway.
Oscar, there's a shooting pain as Zahn rips this thing out from you, but the pain is enough to waken you from this slumber.
Oh, nice. I'm thinking,
Oh.
You
Just
kind
remember
of
that.
like you're groggy as all hell, and you can still feel the poison in you. But like in this moment, if you want to make a medicine check for me.
oh, I would love to.
Oh, my medicines.
Stand back, damn it.
You're not sure exactly how the poison works, but you know that it just induces sleep in some way, and that any kind of damage seems to snap you out of it, though you're in a very
Right.
groggy state when you're awakened here. So you don't feel in top form, but you are awake. And with that, with Zahn tossing you this thing, for all intents and purposes, we can just say like nailing, you grab it and just punch it into the trap door above you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Twisted. Shit.
If the bed were here, in the room, the other trap door would be over here in this room. That's the one to go down below. You bolt the thing above you. Zahn, you could technically still move, or if you wanted to continue looking at this chest at the foot of the bed.
Like, is this okay? How big is the bed? Is it really 15 feet?
Yeah. It's more. It's like a fucking like sex palace.
Yeah.
It's like a pillow fort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Drow know how to fuck.
Yeah.
With
It's dirty drow. fucking-
Sex Palace.
with our powers combined, if we were all to pull on it, would we be able to move it or budge it?
Yeah, we would.
The
Back
bed?
and forth.
Yes.
Definitely not me.
No, you get your turn.
It would take some effort, but you think you probably could.
Okay.
We could make it move. We could
I look
gyrate
over.
it.
I look over at Nalian, and I just do. She's down below.
Yeah.
Let's move the bed over top of it so she can't get out, and then let's
Okay.
light this bitch on fire after we get everything we need.
But if the stone is down there.
Well,
Well, fuck it.
I don't want to
At
open the chest and she come up.
this
That-
point,
that-
Nalian, you also and Oscar, you also see like this black treated wood, this Zerk wood ornate chest at the foot of the bed.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
okay.
and you're
Yes.
kind of like you're looking at the chest, you're looking at the hatch door, many possibilities. You're not sure where the answers lie, but at the moment you don't have the gem.
Open the chest, boy.
I
Might
don't.
be something good in there.
Open it.
I'll move over to the chest. I
Open
don't think I have
it.
enough action to do anything
Open
else.
it.
Can I?
It's technically not your turn again yet, Oscar. It will be in a moment though. So Zahn, like you move over to the chest, you start examining it. 1 second. This room. It's not. Give me one moment, please. You can. So basically, yeah, you get over there. With your combined efforts, the two of you can choose who does this. But you, Oscar, and Zahn, having a moment in front of the chest, one of you can aid the other one. That's where you have to beat a DC 10 on an investigation check.
Oh.
The other one can make the actual investigation check. You guys can divide and conquer that how you want with your combined turns here.
Let me help you. I'm bad at this.
Okay.
The fingers extend.
Is this advantage?
Oh no!
No, so he makes his investigation check, has to beat a 10. If he succeeded, he would have given you a +2. But he doesn't. He seems perplexed by it.
Where's this poison?
Oh, okay. There we go.
Still poisoned.
As far as you can tell, from everything Jim Jar showed you, this chest appears to be fine, though it is locked.
Okay. Is there a desk close by?
There is a small table just north of Nailing between him and the bed and the wall over there, like a small side table and a chair.
Nelian, look for a key. And then I assume I'm done.
Yeah. Oscar, you could technically still do one other thing if you like.
Or Oscar, go look for a key.
Since you didn't make the check.
Looking for a key?
What's a key?
For the chest.
Okay, I'll look over in this, maybe the nightstand.
Okay.
And I investigate my damn self.
Okay. You go over to the nightstand, and
I kick it.
yeah, you kick it. Yeah, you don't notice anything extra peculiar about it, but there, staring you in the eye, is a silver framed mirror that looks like it's of small value. It's kind of got like some spider like sculptured into the frame a little bit. And there it's almost like a portable shrine to Lolth sitting on the table, also carved out of Zerkwood. So it's like a small miniature statue similar to the one up above, but also inlaid with semi-precious stones in the spider's eyes is this miniature statue of Lolth.
Can I find is there like a backpack or something in this room?
I think I found the key.
No, the drawers are empty, other than like just few scraps of like parchment, and then all around the room just appear to be like clothing, pillows, and curtains and things like that.
Okay,
Just
pillow.
Like,
I'll go to a pillow and I'll like dump out. I'm gonna take off the pillowcase. Yeah,
Okay.
empty its contents, and then I'm just gonna put this little mini shrine into the pillowcase and take it with us.
okay. And just
I'll
the
put
shrine
mirror
or
in
the
there and everything.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I just kind of
Okay.
like dump. I'm the sticky bandit now, and I'm just
Okay.
dumping everything in there.
All right.
Everything-
Yeah, you grab those things, but nothing that seems indicative of being able to help you with the
There's
chest.
no keys in here.
Ro, you're being dragged back over the dilapidated bridge by Ezric, who seems to have saved you in the last moment as both Ront and the Quaggoth go flying over the edge down below.
Ezric, I'm so sorry about Ront, but there's something I must do, and I push him aside, and I run towards the bridge, and I slice off the other end of the bridge.
And just
And
cut it loose?
I cut it loose.
Okay. The bridge just goes dropping, and you can see, like, as it drops away, like, the net of webbing is about 20 feet below, and the length of the bridge as you cut it actually sags down into it, almost forming like a poor dilapidated sagging ladder on the other side, the far side, down into the webbing, and you can see numerous forms battling with two giant spiders down there, neither which appear to be Ront at the moment, and you're not sure about Prince Darendil. Like at this vantage point, with this lighting, he's kind of blending in with the other Quaggoth. But you see all 8 of these forms, numerous
Oh,
Quaggoth, 2
no.
gigantic spiders, and an orc, all just scrapping it out down there below you. The bridge was already prepped and primed, so slashing this thing free, I'm happy to call like your bonus action if you want to do something else.
I want to look down. Who do I see down below? Like fighting?
Yeah, you see, just for the sake of abstracting it a little bit, on this side of the bridge, like where the bridge was, you see 3 Quaggoth and a giant spider, and on this side you see 2 Quaggoth, an orc, and a giant spider.
I kick dirt at them and I say, your sacrifice is noted, and I I high five Ezric and I run this way.
Okay. You can see like the Darrow Bupido, like he sees you like slash the bridges. He's like, still holding his repeating crossbow, and he kind of just like smiles and shrugs with you and turns towards the other way as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Good luck, my brethren,
This guy's going now.
in the afterlife.
Ezric.
Ezric will see there.
Ezric, what are you doing?
Ezric's he watches Ro push up ahead and starts to follow his lead, but in doing so he runs over to Stool and grabs Stool, and at the same time says to Bopido, "We must go, friend. Our time to escape is nigh." And it's kind of like to Bupido and Shushar, and as he's walking by Turvy and Jimjar, he's just kind of like corralling all these people, and says, "Push ahead, go further."
Okay.
Kind of encouraging everyone to push forward.
Bupido
noble.
kind of like smiles and he has this like deadly look in his eye, and he's just like nodding like only the strong survive. And he's speaking in, I don't know if you speak Dwarvish, but you can note the inflection.
Oh, I hear it. I hear
Yeah.
it.
And he just like almost like with an even pace just follows behind you confidently. This guy is gasping his last breath after the 2 ladies at the forefront of the southwest bridge just beat him in. And we come to this fellow, sorry, who is heading that way. Eldith advances, like just charging in full bloodlust, like clutching her warhammer with like her shield in front of her, and she like just leaps and swings the thing, trying to smash into like the Quaggoth that's just been shot by Jimjar.
Oh.
And she misses, and as she like lands, still like boxing out with the shield, she comes around with like a sidearm swing in one last attempt to clock this guy, and misses
Come on, smell me
again.
right leg.
It's like the
Oh,
Quaggoth
no.
just like just lashes the attacks aside. Topsy takes a step back and fires her hand crossbow, not wanting to get in the middle of that, and she also misses, trying to line up a shot. You all in the tower can hear like on the Zerkwood flooring that makes up the levels in here. You can hear like just boom, 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 like the sounds of what are clearly not elves. And you feel with some certainty that there's Quaggoth and other creatures up above.
Trapped.
Ro yells out at the reaction to the past action.
Trapped.
Sarith moves up towards the bridge. Also,
Can I say one thing?
sure.
So during this time, or like during my last action,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that magic armor is going on here.
Yeah.
I want
okay.
to, because I was in the cell, so it was down. I want to apply that, so Ezra kind of like his shadowy armor
Alright.
starts forming
Yeah.
around his body.
Once more, your mage armor kind of like it almost like as if it's been like cowering in the shadows. It seems to reform around you.
Oh, it's like a shadow version of you that comes. That's so cool.
So you get 13, I believe.
You're invincible.
And then I don't remember why you had a miscellaneous +2.
I think my race, because I'm an Azamir, I have traits that.
I will look into that right now.
Is Sean ascending?
For the time being, I'm just gonna put it back to just shadow armor only, and we'll
Sure.
kind of take a closer look. Because let me just double check. It's mage armor. It's 13 plus dex. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else at the moment, unless you had like I think maybe at one point you had a shield.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
And you
yeah,
don't you don't currently have a small shield. Okay. So yeah, your armor's there. Shushar, you can feel him like kind of come out of his trance. We must move, but do we go towards the lift or find another way? And he's kind of like rising up, and you can hear again like flights of these demon creatures flitting past every few minutes, screams from Drow and Quaggoth. At the same time, you can all kind of clock and see across the bridge now several Drow and Quaggoth going up to the priestess's temple in the stalactite just opposite you to the southwest. He says, where did your friends go? And he's kind of like looking towards the spire hanging from the ceiling there. That guy is screaming in pain. And the Quaggoth engaged with the dwarf is just fucking going at it. And he hits her once, and he hits her twice. Both times just slashing through her armor for a combined total of 13 points of damage. And she's like trying to block with her shield, and he's just bashing through, clawing past it, seeming to pay no fucking mind. And I'm just gonna put these guys on the outskirts, but you can hear all of them like moving. You hear the hatch beneath you guys like being rattled right now, and like being pounded on. And I'd do it if I didn't wake my dog up. But you kind of hear all of that above you, like numerous forms moving above you, and Bupido is just falling in line with the group of you who are all now just naturally bottlenecking on this bridge behind the dwarf. He is way too clustered to kind of take any action in this moment. Nalian, what are you doing?
I'm looking for three things. I'm searching for a key for that chest.
Oh.
Something to pick a lock that chest.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give this
So like that.
This one's abundantly clear. Between Zahn and Oscar like turning the place up, you feel pretty damn sure that if there's a key, it's not in this room.
Okay. Then I look for a lockpick. Like it was a key or a lockpick, a stone, or a longbow. Also, I have to go to bed soon.
Yeah, me too. It's 2 in the morning. I'm exhausted.
All right. Well, I
Sorry,
think
guys.
it's as good a spot as any.
All right.
Why don't we finish Nalian's turn here? You would have had, I'd argue, enough to like call thieves' tools between you and Jim Jar back in the other place there. Though you're not exceptionally skilled with them.
Wait, Zahn and Jim Jar?
Nalian, Zahn, and Jim Jar.
Okay.
So, perhaps Nalian in this moment, if you're looking for something to like pick a lock with, you can offer something to like that Zahn, or at least have some sense that Zahn's been sort of training and shadowing Jim Jar a little bit. And you've seen them kind of like fiddling with things that kind of give you a sense that he might know how to handle that thing.
Whatever that means.
So you're able to produce enough to kind of give him like a very MacGyver-ish makeshift lockpick, if that's what you're after. And you
let's
can
open it.
you can try to like aid and support Zahn as he opens this chest. Why don't we end with you trying to open it, if that's what?
Oh
you're
my
doing.
god, do it!
Trying to.
Do it!
Trying to.
So, so Nalian, if you want to aid him, you can make
Do
a
it!
dexterity check. You just need to beat a 10.
Oh my god, you could do it. I believe.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, what? Nope.
No!
What? I saw 16.
I did too, but
Oh,
the
no.
chat is king.
Chad is king. Your hands blow off. You're dead. Your hands
Betrayal.
blew off into your face.
Okay.
How many
So
hands do you have left?
The treasure melts.
Well, that was Nalian trying to help. Nalian, while able to provide you with some tools that appear good enough, Zahn, is not able to help you with the lock itself. You've never seen anything like it.
So
It's a
just to-
standard lock.
just to be clear on lock picking, it's proficiency and dex. Is that right?
It is a dexterity check.
All right, dudes, I gotta go.
But do I also have proficiency since I'm
Good night,
a rogue
dude.
and trained in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So-
it'd be a +5.
Can I
Oh,
just
that's
add
over it.
plus
That's-
5 to the modifier thing down at
Yeah.
the bottom and roll a d20?
Yeah, that's fine.
Heyo, that's better.
Ooh, okay. All right. You kind of fiddle with the lock,
no.
and you hear a click. Now, as you start, it's like a multi-tumbler lock, and as you hear like this first click, your hands are frozen, like you can't move them, and basically you take a look in the keyhole, and you see poised and ready to spring a poison
fart.
needle, and like you're holding the pressure of the tumbler open enough that this
You're
thing
gonna
hasn't
lose an
sprung,
eye.
and
You're
the
losing an
lock
eye.
the lock itself feels like you could probably both disarm the trap and disable the lock, but you'd have to make another dexterity check.
You're gonna lose an eye. Here it comes. Let's do it. Do it.
As he's paused like that, can
Uh-huh.
you say anything and then?
Oh
have
yeah.
some-
This is like you like ready to cut like the wires, like you know like you have to do it, like you can't back out now, like you're
Can't-
holding this thing and stopping it from springing.
Yeah.
But
Oscar.
at the
Yeah,
same time,
yeah.
you failed to
Oh.
realize that this was trapped earlier when you investigated.
Character
I come over
customization.
and then
It's trapped.
I give you the nice shoulder tug.
The
Alright.
lockpick goes right through his
Bye.
eye into your dick.
Grace,
You're like
Feel
delicately holding these shitty tools Nalian gave you, trying and
my
hoping that
God.
they don't break as you try to perform this like surgical operation.
You're gonna
Okay.
you're
by the
you're
grace
done.
of
You're done.
Ilmatir, you will.
But
Yeah.
Oscar's hands are so soft and
It actually
You
feels
need-
pretty good.
You need
soft
to,
and firm.
if you want to roll the d4 first, you can then basically add whatever that is to the 5.
There's no way you're gonna fucking die. Oh!
With a +6, you need to beat a DC 15 to disable this trap.
Oh my god!
And with
You
the
didn't
lingering
die!
with the lingering touch still warmly embracing your shoulder, you like just fucking disable the spring and move the tumbler, and like it's a second click that's like, oh dear god, and you see like this dark purple bead of poison just on the tip of this needle that you've managed to just like push down into the mechanics of the lock, permanently just burying it in there. And the chest opens,
What's
and
in it?
you see in front of you, in a pile of just like extravagant clothes of all varieties, like enough to like dress your whole fucking entourage probably. You see nestled on top of that a small bag, and by the look of it, you can tell that it's very likely containing something of interest. You
Okay.
see 2 potions,
Oh.
and you see a small pouch that looks to be filled with like reagents and spell components. You also see a number of gold coins.
Okay.
Are the potions red in color?
They are.
I give
Oh.
one of the potions immediately to Oscar and say,
Tell you what,
Whoa!
I'm gonna put all
Yeah.
that in Zahn's inventory for now. I'll just put it in the party inventory.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
actually,
red potions.
because Zahn's there and he did all that, I'm gonna put it in Zahn's inventory, and then you guys can Zahn, you can kind of like hand out whatever you're
Okay.
doing. You still hear numerous footfalls above you on the wooden floorboards, and you hear the sounds from below have also stopped, like, all this moving of the bed, all this other shit. Yeah, you feel like you guys haven't completed that task yet, and it's feeling more and more like a good idea. But we'll pick up here next time.
Yeah.
and can the next episode be called Between a Rock and a Hard Place?
Oh yeah, yeah. It seems like a
No,
good
it should
idea.
be called like between a slit bridge and a
And a headboard.
and a
between,
horde.
between
Yeah.
a slit bridge and a poison needle.
Yeah, exactly. We did it.
My
We're trapped, guys. We've done it.
These have been good, guys.
You're doing something.
really close.
We're totally fucked. Yeah.
But we're doing it.
We're
Kyle,
doing it.
why didn't you cut the bridge, dude?
I did cut
Like-
the bridge. It's cut.
No, I mean like way earlier.
I tried and it didn't. It fucked up. I fucked up really bad. I cut one half the bridge and then I went in for the other half the bridge. Like,
Didn't you attack a dude first though?
well, I tried. I wanted to say what's his the edge, and then it didn't work out. So now the bridge is cut.
My God.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, and you can always let me know later. It's tough. Like these big spanning moments. Like I kind of want to abstract as much as possible, like some of the NPC stuff, but because so many of these NPCs bear a lot of potential importance on whatever you decide to do, I thought it was worth incorporating them at least partially into like the turn order.
I thought you went
loved
through it.
Yeah, it was
You
good.
went through it
Yeah,
really
it was
fast.
good.
I
Okay.
like it.
It was good.
Yeah,
It
I
Like
tried
didn't
I
linger.
recognized that these were important NPCs, and
Yeah.
I tried to save them, but they fucking died.
I mean, hey, they're not necessarily dead. But yeah, okay.
They're down there. They're
Good,
in the
good to know.
spider tower.
I can
Yeah.
keep things
Yeah.
like set up like they are, where it's still
Prince
fast
Durgo,
enough to like
like-
move through them. And
I-
then and like again, you have to kind of imagine that there's chaos. Like other Drow and Quaggoth are like battling these demons. These demons appear to be battling themselves. Anything that any of you outside have seen fly by, and so all of that is going on. I left that out of the turn order. I just tried to keep it granular on the stuff that was directly relevant in this moment,
Yeah.
but other things are still moving in the background too. So
There-
try to bear that in mind.
There were straight up 2 NPCs on a 1/2 rope bridge, and I was like, "Oh, I could just cut this bridge and end it, or I could try and save them." And I was like, "God damn it!"
Ah, jeez. I love it.
I went for it. I went for it, and then I had to cut the bridge anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Now they're done. Now they're dead.
Well,
I was
they're
hoping we'd save Prince Darendil.
they're
They're
down. They're down on the spider's web.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
they're in the
dead.
deep down.
They're
You've
definitely
given
dead.
them a ladder.
I guess.
Oh, that's true.
We did.
The
Yeah,
one
you-
side of the
you
bridge
cut
went down there.
That bridge is longer than the distance down to the surface level of like
Okay,
that web
alright.
domain.
Yeah,
And I
but
call it a web
outside.
domain. I call it a web domain because like it's truly like it's layers and layers, which is why like when that one guy went through, he like disappeared into like a bank of snow almost, but it
Okay.
spider webs. So like you, Ro, the last thing you saw before you left was one, you cut the bridge, leaving a ladder up to the other side towards the prison.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you saw 4 figures on each side, 3 more humanoid, 1 gigantic spider, and
Oh.
the same on the other 3 humanoid, 1 gigantic spider, all like
Okay.
trying to like wiggle around like flies in a spider's nest. Some of them fighting or wrestling. You couldn't really tell.
Okay.
I don't know.
I tried my damnedest.
All right, well, yay digital game boards, because I can just leave all this and we'll pick right back up here next time.
Yeah.
He's done it. Hey,
Nice.
Fiddy, thank you. This has
Yeah,
been
thank you.
very awesome.
Yeah, that was great,
Very,
dude.
very